that. So we got 1 minute left. So is it finally prediction time?
We'll see. We'll see about it. I mean, for me, regardless if it does prompt now or later, it is going to be Team Flash for me on the first round. I just generally feel like Team Flash just has that, the pump as well. And I feel like in some way, a definitely big contender that has been pretty promising ever since the first initial day, but hasn't really found the consistency yet, has been APG. Do correct me if I'm wrong, though. I did miss out on 1 or 2 days or so. So APG or Team Flash, it's a toss-up between those two, but we'll see later on.
Yeah, I definitely think that they still show very promising signs over on the course of their run there. They've been able to maintain the pace, even if they don't really go in to win out chicken dinners or get into top 4. They will still be looking for, some frag volumes to be able to carry on forward. So that being said, I'm going for Alter Ego. I think that they've definitely shown that consistency. So I'm looking forward to see more from AE.
I think I'm going to stick to my initial boys, Team Flash, for this very round. I'm pretty confident, although I don't know why half of my heart says APG, but we'll see about it. Production team, what's your call? Who are you going for here inside? So far, you guys are tied up 3 for 3, so it is going to be BTR by Vitality. That does ring a bell in some way. I was kind of like leaning towards going for the side of BTR by Vitality as well, but I just remembered how Team Flash was able to dismantle that roster on the playoffs. But come again, this is the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, so definitely going to be probably a lot more surprises up ahead.
Yep, I'm definitely looking forward to see what unfolds right now. And for most part, I think like a lot of all these teams, they've already stabilized some rosters. Now, the big question remains is that, there's certain teams that feel like 5-6 players, and we maybe haven't seen like the full usage of their entire lineup. One such example is Vampire Esports, because they've been fielding Dewey as well as Red Bull, both who have played back in FaZe Clan for the past couple of seasons. Now that they move in, I felt like it kind of gels really well to make this Vampire Esports roster to be even more gruesome on their approach. I feel like the past couple of days, they're only focused on the first couple of days, they focus on kill pressure, and then on top of the third as well as 4th day, that's where they start to look for more chicken dinners.
I mean, it's just that adaptability you kind of want to look for inside of this game, and I feel like this rotations of the maps we're going to be seeing. Yes, we start things off at Erangel, we go back to Miramar, back to back as well. I feel like that's going to be like offering a lot of like these opportunities for like, okay, we're between the round itself, maybe we can do something better in the next time around, and that's kind of what I would like here for this one. Or it could be the total opposite around. Maybe you don't really have enough time to go back to the drawing board and map things out. After all, a lot of things happens in the nature and the universe of PUBG Mobile. So let's just see who's going to be able to really adapt to the environment here on the grand finals.
Yeah, and overall, I'm super excited to also witness who eventually thrives in Miramar overall, because that pacing coming into Miramar is so much faster than what we saw back into maybe normal PMSL tournaments. I mean, arguably even Erangel as well, right? Because usually by stage 5, I felt like we were already down to only 5 teams. Like that pacing is just absolutely wild. Even normally, when you look at the rest of the official circuits, you'll still see like 10 teams by that kind of stage. So it definitely is a very different kind of play style that these teams are actually showing to us. But it's actually great to see. I mean, it just goes to show that everyone really wants to go for a little bit more of that fast-paced action.
And that's kind of what I like, just throw your buddies out there. Although like we all know it's pretty punishing if you do, drop your life and actually get knocked out of the round, because you can't really, you can't really recall back your teammates in this game. So, you got to be cautious in some way, but at the same time, you need to have that somewhat, some sense of threat as well to get those elimination points. After all, elimination points are truly a big factor in regards to setting your tone, setting yourself apart from the, general composition of the competition. So, I don't exactly know what to say. I mean, we may be seeing, we may see teams take it a bit more cautiously here, but at the same time, I wouldn't be so surprised as well if a lot of these teams will start things off on a high note.
That's right. Just a quick check with production. We got to bet our game soon, because I know all of you fans out there are super eager to see the very first matchup between our top 18 teams. Now, I think like one of the points of discussion that we may have missed out is that now with 18 teams in the lobby versus 16, I feel like it becomes so much more compact that undeniably we'll see a few teams being forced to actually share township. So that being said, I mean, even before 18 teams are getting so many hot drops, now we're perhaps getting even more.
Yeah, okay. I totally missed out on that one as well, bro. This is going to be pretty interesting thing. I mean, if we thought that the playoffs was fast, how much more swelling on the grand finals? After all, you know, you add what? Plus, if I'm not mistaken, play up. Wait, am I doing my math wrong? Plus 2 in the composition, right? We have 16 teams overall, or 15 teams right from the get-go. So it's going to be pretty big. Definitely, we're bound to probably expect a lot more of those hard drops, specifically probably in Erangel. Not too certain about Miramar. After all, it's a pretty wide map. But another thing, obviously, you kind of want to consider as well what is going to be the flight path. And fortunately enough, we are not going to be guessing anymore what will the flight path be, as we are starting the first initial round here on the Grand Finals for Ruthless Invitational Showdown 12.
All right, perfectly on the dot we go within the next 10 seconds, and we will see who will be the one that gets the first dibs and a very big fight as we kick on back onto our classic matchup in this map. So we want to take a look at how this flight's going to treat them, as it will bypass from the islands into the northeast corners of Stourbridge.
Here we go. Gonna be slicing here directly from the general vicinity of the Sosnovka military base, and it's gonna be heading straight to Kameshki. So there's definitely gonna be a lot of inclusion here, especially on the eastern side of the map. Pool is definitely gonna be accessible here in the process, alongside Pochinki. For those who likes to play around Melita and Yasnaya, that's definitely gonna be an option as well, alongside Lipovka. But fortunately, we're going to be seeing one of those rare occurrences where there's not the availability of Jordapool to be all around, alongside probably Gatka. So, hey, that's going to be a pretty long glide if ever they want to do so as well. There could be a possible slide occurrence as well. They might take a gamble to probably glide across the Verney, but that might just be a topic later on.
Probably so. And look at the changes already being made. Vampire Esports, they immediately dropped right into the south side of the island. And as much as there is not too many loots around this vicinity, it kind of solidifies their position if it does end up inside of the island itself, which we were being treated with a couple of those instances for the past 2 days at the very least. So looking at the rest of the field though, because this is pretty much skewered, now it absolutely benefits teams like APG, Talent, and nonetheless, Vampire Esports.
Oh, I know you want. I know you like the look of that circle itself. I mean, you've been craving for a military-based, circle for the last initial. So hey, looking like it is bound to happen. Obviously, it's still going to be a distinct device later on if ever it does shift towards the direction, because there's still some mainland action that could come along. But for the time being, though, whoever decided to invest himself towards the northern side of the map feels bad for you, boy. But on the feed, Xavier already having a tussle up against the players of the Vikings.
Oh, wow. It feels like a full flush, and they just take on their countrymen, wiping them down to only 2 members left. And speaking of which, there's a little bit of a back and forth trade. Falak catches 1 member out of the Saber as well. And Levi's, he didn't really get to actually participate at all. And we're already seeing so many names taken off the list.
Yeah, already. I mean, that's what you got when you bring in at least 70 plus players inside of a lobby. And now the game ensues here with Sem9 having the first 2 eliminations to their name as well. That is brought to you by Satria alongside Haikyuu himself. And that's going to be pretty good here for the Malaysians. Malaya OP, baby.
Well, they're definitely looking pretty strong for the past couple of rounds. As for Sem9, I would say that they are not showing a sign of consistency yet. But the very final game yesterday, Farron, I think he backed 9 points by himself. Maybe I exaggerated the number, but he definitely pulled up a couple clutch instances, which kind of maintains it for the side of Sem9.
Yeah, man. I mean, we do have Kodak here, which is feeding off from the damage that Sem9 was able to put up. And fortunately for M9, alongside Manapt is going to be out away from the scene here. And It's just kind of unfortunate here for Seto Todak. They haven't really found a lot of breathing room, especially in the map of Wrangle. So not a pretty great start here for them. And so far, I mean, they were one of the only three squads that has been through a casualty here. Next to that is going to be the Vikings with 2 casualties on towards their way. And the Xavier losing 1 player in the process. But hey, the round continues here now with AZ Slumber having a bit of a fight now here on the top side. And that's going to be Vampire Esports here holding things down.
Oh, the good twist is on. Right now, the rest of the Vampires have arrived to the scene. Miz has to does it all by himself, but with that puppy, he managed to deplete Mela. But now here comes the rescue. Ripple, just in the nick of time, comes in to clean up shop. But Mela has been secured though, so that's a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. Yeah, Lao 6 is going to be out from the scene though for the set of Vampire Esports, and I never want to hate to say that, see it, because you're a big Vampire Esports fan, you know for sure how impactful Meow Lao 6 is overall for the squad. But hey, the round persists here. Still got so much time, but Alter Ego Era is actually looking forward, has a quick and pretty wide overview here up against the players of 7-9 in the vehicle.
Yeah, it seems like they really want to find an easy way out, but by the shorelines, it's not safe at all. Rosemary got him all pretty much pinched by the corner, and it's all down to Alba right here with the jump shot to find him. And just like that, 7-9, they're slowly being depleted. And just like that, Alter Ego also getting traded right back. Alba as well as Rosemary goes down. And it's all thanks to Flank coming in from 7-9 from afar.
Yes, flanks all around, but the damage has been done. The question is, though, can the Avenger teammate so far bad route off the head? He's going to be able to throw a few shots, but no, nothing connecting whatsoever. Big shots here for the side of 7-9, but Fex Cry grapples 1 player off Alter Ego Ares, and that should be sufficient enough actually for them to get the wipe. Oh my days, they made it happen. 7-9, they stay alive.
And just like that, they secure 6 points, and they denied my pick, Alter Ego Ares. Well, you just said Malayu OP. I guess they hear you, man. 7-9 on fire, winning that 1v1 duel by the end of it.
Yeah, pretty gnarly start here for the 7-9. Hey, at least you still got 2 players to go, though. And now RQ here going to be sliding and looking to take the challenge against Vampire Esports. I don't exactly know if that's going to be the right play here initially, but looking like Vampire Esports doesn't really want to have a taste out of it. But no, Lazarus fights Lepar away. And now there's going to be Dipsteed here trying to defend the respawn as well. But off the pump, able to get 1. Lazarus now here down to the ground. Big fight here for RRQ and the Vampires.
Oh, it's just a rough run in. And the rest of Vampire Esports right now, withered down. They don't really have too many numbers to really deal with the King of Kings at the moment. Echo, Lee's going to be receiving a little bit of backup. And with the cover of the hovercraft, they can still play around. So doing it right now, getting pushed a little bit down to 1 HP. Dewey is not going down without a fight. And yes, he does secure it. And Vampire Esports will still be able to triumph up ahead.
Oof, wow. Big shots overall, but you kind of get to see as well the grass of the top competition. No squad whatsoever that has accumulated any elimination points, hasn't dropped a player at all. It always has been 1 to 2 there. So definitely gonna be seeing a pretty bloodshed type round here off this initial start of this grand finals. Take a look at the circle here. It's now gonna be closing up. Only a minute and 7 seconds to go before it actually close out fully. Gonna be a lot of rotation here on the northern side of the map. Team Secret, on the contrary, though, they're going to be having their time of life there on Georgia Pool. While to kill, they did come from the vicinity of Severny. Boom Esports going to be right around the vicinity of school as well, so it's not going to be a problem for them. That would draw things back here for the side of Team Flash, and they're going to be having a bit of a fight here up against Triber Massey.
Yeah, certain teams, they just opt to commit over on the mainland, and they say, like, you know what? We might not even get past the bridge, so might as well we'll throw the rest of these guys off of their course. So that being said, Team Flash, happy enough to really camp around Milta to blockade some of all these areas of play. Bows finding another one on the block, and they're just having some incredible work rate coming from the distance to shut down 2 of these members of AST. Well, of course, we last saw what you mentioned, Secret, TTK. They're going to take a long wraparound, so I'm not too sure if that actually pays off. And we're already looking at a very different kind of faceted plays coming from all these teams. Everyone's being so proactive here in the grand finals.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, everyone wants to get involved. They always want to put themselves into the picture. And just like that here, look at this. Circle diverting its direction directly to the military base itself. Saznaka Island will be the name of the game on this round. Whoever gets the early rotation might either have to deal with a lot of casualties, obviously, but will definitely be sitting pretty if ever they do clear it up for themselves. But for the time being, though, the Xavier late on the rotation. They are still going to be playing around Pasinki. They're looking to gatekeep a few players here and there, but there's not really a lot of opportunities up ahead.
Yeah, they're just waiting for another shift, perhaps. These Saber are also taking their sweet time right now. I mean, as much as I say take their sweet time, I don't know where did they actually get those 3 points from. Honestly, right now, going all out up against the rest of the members of Team Flash. But the last that we saw, Team Flash already gotten 2 of their members. Now they have completed their ace. So that's the first 4 points being back. Now, very top heavy as we currently look at the big winners right now throughout the round. Vampire Esports have been able to match the same numbers against Seb9, but the only difference is that Seb9 is currently tanking the blue zone. Vampire Esports, they're safe inside the island, and look who's here. Alpha Gaming, they've always gotten that kind of priority in the islands whenever this kind of circle appears, because they're the ones who put military base first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar approach here for Set of 7-9 and Vampire Esports, though. I mean, yes, they got 6 elimination for the name, but what did they lose out on as well? 2 of their members, so a bit of a tough one here if they ever want to prolong their life inside of this game, especially when we talk about stage 6, 7 later on now. Got things back here for 4 Thrives, and they do meet Megatron by Vitality on the bridge side, and Federales on the top side of the bridge, able to find one for himself, and that is now going to be the players for 4 Thrive here scrambling across the bridge side.
Oh, this is where we are finally getting ourselves those kind of bridge camp setups. Federales over on the top of the scaffoldings. Frankie right now going on a full duke out while they're trying to squeeze for that space. Oh, that trade was beautiful coming in from Boom. And Frankie barely even gets to step right into the shack. Back and forth they go, and Frankie holding on, and boom! They flew all the way on the top! Here comes Yummy to also lend a hand, but it doesn't seem like he needed any help at all. Doc still treading on the tin line. They managed to get a pinch over onto a member, but it's Yummy that takes out Doc instead.
Joen pushing through here, able to get one for himself. Now, big fight. He's going to get a picture with Jukai. Now, going to be able to get the connection. Going to be Palm Bit there, actually holding on to the Molotov. He has turned his back there. Not too exactly certain what's going to be the call here for them, but it is going to be definitely going to be a prolonged fight here in the process. Calvary arrives here for Set of Boom Esports. Palm Bit still prolonging this one. Angela.
Wow, they really had too much going on their plate. I mean, they actually won out that duel, and they could not even handle more and more of that pressure. And it was just great timing for the side of those players. And, you know, I got to ask for a favor from you, buddy. I got to use the quick lube for a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to make it quick. And, yeah, I'll be right back. Got me, buddy. And just look how depleted all these other teams are. I mean, that's the wrap of the Blue Zone if you're not going to be able to get to the island so safely. And now, the Saber, can they actually find a little bit more of a leeway to actually get right into the zone? Or will they actually fight for a whole lot more? Zeus only down to his last bandit, and he is barely going to be able to get right through. His teammate trying to actually shove into the vehicle. And just like that, okay, a creative way to actually go for a pickup. Win. Okay. All right. He's safe. That's pretty crazy. I mean, Team Flash, they know what exactly to do. But the Blues is also chipping over on the win. Now it's about time that they actually get a couple of seconds just to heal themselves. But CD Alliance might just raid on the Pareto. Oh, that was beautiful. I mean, Team Flash, they really were super prepared once they actually get into the zone. But then again, there's just too many overwhelming numbers out there. My beginning still limping on the ground. Win is kind of in between sandwich. So CD Alliance waiting for the right moment to eventually claim the number, and they just let the Blue Zone do its course. 3 points already for CD Alliance, and oh, I think that's one member being taken out by the Blue Zone itself. So CD Alliance in the pickle as they are driving towards the direction of the shots coming in from Talon Esports.
You're just going to go for the spray down. APG so far are looking quite hot, and again, they've done exactly what Boom and 10-9 was able to do, but just so much better as they have been able to sustain their lives away. APG on a 7th spree for this round.
You know, you told me that you have a gut feeling before your match began, and I think like your gut never lied to you that, yeah, APG, they're firmly in control right now. They have pretty much the poised position inside the zone, and now they're hoping to actually get a lot more of these teams. Talon over on the low ground, and Sam 9, I just spot a couple of teams right here. A chill being tagged up, finding a little bit more of the ledge for them to actually hide off of for the moment. And here goes Morales, and they go in for a dive up against the rest of the Saber. The Saber, they're going on a dominating spree already, and they won in.
Big old spray here for Federalis. Known as the Terminator of it all. Can he sustain? Get this one down. Finds one to the ground. Lamborghini on the other side. Federalis from the back. Gets taken down, and that's going to be Megatron by Vitality. Eliminated as well.
Wow. This is the different side of DX that we don't get a whole lot back in the playoffs. And now here, meaning serious business in the grand final. 7 points already, racing up against the rest of APG. Meanwhile, Talon now jumps on board, trying to take down some of the members of APG, but they're on the low ground instead, so Zio's gonna be able to pinch him and eventually close that one out. And you know what? DX have 7, but APG says we will always best you at every step of the way.
APG on a 10 spree here so far. Doc's gonna be out here down from the ground, but shot trapping the Linty out the Vikings. Oh boy. Narrowly survived, still looking to get the few shots to connect, but he's snugging down to the ground. Nakul from the side of Talon Esports, looking like he wants to hail down from the sky, wants to go for the swan dive, but Sam 9, Vex Cry, able to get the cut off, and now that's going to be Talon Esports eliminated from this round as well.
It's so beautiful on their execution. I mean, they've been able to really leverage onto their high ground terrain, and right now with the late arrival of 7-9, this might actually cause a little stir up against Ruthless. He's got the grenade though. It's be hard to flush him out, and that's where Satra Viren jumps right through and will be able to connect a couple of all these shots. Now chasing forward, it's only gonna be Zio left. I mean, This is just a very daunting task for him from that corner. He's trying to keep himself safe from harm's way. And 7-9, at least they've been able to pave to the next circle.
Pushing through here. A lot of mountainside action here happening. He's still going to be down to the ground. APG had a pretty stellar start here off this rotation on this military island, but now we get to see they're only relying onto one player. 9 here so far, looking to get this one in control. We all getting sprayed up. Oh, Heist Man is free. Perfect coverage now, but still decides to go for the peek out. And finally, we'll be able to buy enough space here to get the reset.
Doesn't seem like he's been able to really sprint towards the side of East to get him a secured edge, just like that. The rest of 7-9 doubles down, managing to find him right behind the tree. And right now, a challenge into the shack. The final member of Vikings trying to hold on to the best of his capabilities, but the two members of the AX will continue on the assault. The pressure is on. The nade's falling true. Is it going to connect? Oh, barely enough. And yes, it does the job with the Molotov.
Now we take a look at the last and final composition here off his first initial round of this grand finals. We got the Xavier, Vampire Esports 7-9 tied up with 2 players for their names. AZ Slumber and T2K lying on one Rogue Wolf for their banner. Here we go. Who can prevail? Anyone's ball game here, Contra.
Absolutely anyone here to really take it, but firepower-wise, we look at the Xavier right now. 3 members strong, whereas the rest have been depleted to either solo units or playing by duos. Mimi right now being spotted by Agent Brian. He's waiting for the right moment to strike, but he does not want to reveal himself to the rest of the party surrounding him, though.
Good shots from Mimi. And it's going to be AC Zumbler now here, going to be eliminated. But now the cavalry arrives here for set of 7-9. Satria doesn't go for the commitment. Baits it out, and Backstrike gets the shot to connect. And that is going to be another squad, another player out from the scene. Top 3 remains.
And that is a little bit of an awkward situation. Brian did not take the shot, but instead Mimi spots him out. So maybe he has a little form of regret in that sense, where 7-9, they're the ones dictating the portion of the North. So I think at least at this current point in time, 7-9, despite having 2 members, I mean, they're playing as if they have the full squad strength. I mean, B-Saber, only 1 extra member that can supplement them on their pursuit for the first chick of the year of the finals. And speaking of which, Satria makes it all even right now, knocking down Lamborghini.
Big shots coming through here to Xavier. Look to get the pick up here to get the best out of all composition, but doesn't necessarily happen. Beck's right eager. Get this one down a bit. Paragen. Super consistent Slayer looking to get this one through as well. Dasher is going to be driving on by here with an S-well, baiting out the players once again. Fexfry looking to get the free hit from the back, but not going to be enough to get the connection. That's going to be a 1v1 here. And a punch to the DBS to the face of Satria. Is going to be putting himself away from the round. The Xavier once again looking like they want to start off the day with a high note.
10 points to their name right now, matching to the pace of APG. And surely racking even more points by ending up in the top 3. You as well as Red Bull, the new prospects from FaZe Clan right now paving the path, charging with the hovercraft, but does not really find Fexfry over the corner. I think he saw the glimpse over the edge where he spotted out that member of 7-9. So they're going to recommit once again, sending Huey from front, and that's just an easy tap with their shotgun shells. And now it's down to the 2 teams, BX versus BPE.
He knows exactly where Nate's going to be at. She's going to go for the spray down there up against that supercar, but not going to be enough to get the detonation. Didn't be the intention here so far. Xavier has topside control, so you don't really got to do and worry about any of these things. You can just play this one off and play for the pickoffs. There's going to be a long range shots happening here in Red Bull, feeding off from the bullets of Lamborghini. That is now at Esports still looking to be... I think he's off here on the back foot. Get the back against the wall as well, and Oz doesn't really fit to favor them here at most in the situation here, Contra.
Not at all. They're just basically waiting for the right moment right now to fully get a little bit more of those cheeky angles up against Red Bull as well as Yui. Because they know that they're stuck by that corner, so now they're having that man advantage to try to send it one after another. Red Bull almost gets it though.
Taking done, pushing through here, and that's just like that. Now the Xavier makes it happen. silent as ever all across the board, but now they are able to bag the first winner chicken dinner off the grand final.
Beautifully played out. D-Saber once again looking like the champions of the world again. Oh my word, Lamborghini, he's absolutely back. I mean, it wasn't all about him in this matchup. You could see Paragon and the rest really held their own, and that swift call to push towards the members of Vampire Esports. You don't really get to really see it every now and then over onto, you know, the final zones, but the Mat Lads of D-Saber, they know that they have the numbers to really put on a show.
Yeah, look at the stat line here. 3 for the set of Lamborghini, 5 for the set of Paragon, and 3 for the set of AT. That's going to be 11 in total, just off eliminations alone, plus 10 now here on the placement point. That's going to be 21 to their name. Definitely one of the best starts you can claim in this grand final, Sir Contra.
Yep, and it starts off so strongly, not only for them, but also the rest of the teams. But the Saber, I think that they were a lot more composed on their approach compared to, you know, all the other squads where they are basically chasing points, but they also put themselves at risk because they were over on to the edge of the zone. And for the most part, D-Saber says, hey, I got the spine on the hill. I can control both sides. If I want to take a look over the south or even the north, I could. Whereas Vampire Esports, you know, they started off in the island, ending up at second spot is actually as good as it gets. I mean, of course, they were very close to Chicken Dinner, but they were just not having enough members to really trade with the rest of the X.
Yeah, man. I mean, whew, pretty unexpected run here from the side of D-Saber, but nonetheless, able to make it happen here. Sem9 was on the trail there, and I honestly thought with the duo there from the side of Sem9 that left to be remaining inside of this round, they were fuming up pretty well. And how much worse was there for a set of APG? If only Sem9 wasn't around in the vicinity, it made their lives totally hard. Till then, we could have probably seen APG actually win this one through, but now the comparison here is going to be in between Vampire Esports and the Xavier. 11 eliminations to the name of the Xavier, 8 actually for the set of Vampire Esports actually as well. Definitely a bit of a scrappy round here for the set of Vampire Esports, but still, points is points, and if you are given to by it, you got to claim it, bro.
Yeah, and of course, these teams, they always take it at any given point of the day. With 2,000 over damage to be done by all these members, and you can see that they're also receiving a little bit more of that shots because they healed about 3,000 at the same time. So Red Bull, he was the main marksman in this round. A total of 5 eliminations, and he does not even care of, like, you know, throwing utilities. He always gets his job done in order to put VPE on the map. And it all started off with, you know, that arrival of RQ trying to flush that position, and he held his own. And just like that, they were feeling rather confident that they won't be pretty much challenged from the get-go, and it's all down to that final duel that they almost got in the back too.
Definitely look at the top performers here. It's going to be Red Bull here with 5, Vexcraven with 5, Paragon on 5, and Ace with 4 as well. A lot of 5s in this board, and, well, it was pretty evident. I mean, we saw them in the broadcast, we saw them on the round itself, and they were pretty loud there, Contra.
Yeah, they definitely were. And it was really an interesting exchange, right? Because there was certain glimpse of brilliance coming from the side of Sem9 where, you know, APG, they had more members. Sem9 only had those 2, but with those kind of plays on the hovercraft, Vexcry have been able to eventually seek out and also deny the entry out of those members of APG, and now find themselves at the second spot. So this will be pretty much the same scorelines with the overall standings at this moment. 21 points handed over to our Warders of Dingo Savior, 15 for Sem9, and Vampire Esports with 14. So that's just 1 point of a difference.
Definitely a bit of a close one here on this round. Sem9 definitely still took the losses, but you know, having 15 for your name, placing number 2 is not a bad picture at all. Same goes for a set of a Vampire Esports. APG, I feel like they could have really done more there, especially in regards to the placement, but unfortunately they got caught off on a bench, and I kind of thought that in some way they had a better rotation, a better formation, better angle, but nope, wasn't really that case. Sam was able to make the most out of that. But for the rest of the crew, though, Boom Esports, P2K Esports, Team Flash, AZ Slumber, they tried their best, but fortunately just got caught off there on mid side of the game. Now, match stats. Once he's going to get the longest eliminations, 58 knockouts in total, though, 67 total eliminations inside of the round. Nurse will live through. Pretty staple here overall in this round here, Contra.
Yeah, pretty staple. I thought that there will be a little bit more elimination points because there's just like 2 added than the usual 16 rosters that we see moving into a map. So that goes to show that every single time we go into the island, it's always going to be absolute chaos for those that didn't manage to make their way in. So that being said, though, I really do hope that Miramar is going to be just as challenging, but we'll have to wait a couple more minutes for that because we'll go on a short break. We'll be back for more.
Step
Right, let's get it on here. Welcome back once again to the first day of the grand finals here at RUTHLESS Invitational Showdown 12. And we're going to be heading straight towards round number 2, where we're going to be heading straight actually to Miramar here, actually. And we're going to go back to back here, Contra.
Yep, I absolutely do love the kind of pacing that we're already getting here, where, you know, these big names, they're starting to really put on a serious showdown. APG, you know, they were only lacking placement points, but they already secured themselves like, what, 10 points of elimination? That is equivalent to DX, who actually got the chicken dinner, and now we're seeing pretty much everyone in the same lobby. I'm starting to figure out whether if some of these teams will actually need to fight for some of these spots, or, you know, it's good enough to share areas like El Pozo, like Los Leones, which we've seen quite a whole lot back in the playoffs.
Definitely, man. Now, only less than a minute separates us from the next match itself. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading straight to Miramar once again. We're going back to Miramar right after as well, and then we're going to take a break from Miramar, going back to Oranga later on once again. Same all participating teams. It's going to be all the same bracket. All 18 teams will be playing and fighting here out of this run. And I'm just trying to see how this one's going to play out, bro. I mean, so far on the first initial winner, we got to see the Xavier. Next team around, well, I don't got to question anymore because you got to throw your predictions up on the board. Contra, who are you going for, bro?
Well, I think that VPE start things on the right foot. So I think that, you know, they were denied on second place. Maybe this time around in Miramar, they will feel a lot more comfortable, as majority of these numbers back in the playoffs were actually racked in for Vampire Esports in this respective map. So that's what I'm going for.
I feel like there's going to be a bit of a standout here for a set of BTR by Vitality. So I'm not going to say too much thanks because I might curse them out, but I'm going for BTR for this one.
Oh, okay. And I definitely think that overall they've been really having a decent showing. Despite, you know, last round, it was a little bit harsh for them to kick things off with, where we saw DX was the one that eventually taken out all of the members. But Ferralis kind of held his own on his last stand as well. If BTR won that, who knows? That could have actually been their chicken dinner too, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this kind of like the price you kind of want to pay. We might have to pay here in a contract when you wait it out on the bridge side too much, you know. And then you get a plan, and then you don't really have the best out of all rotations. You don't really have the best of obstacles to play around with, and that's just the sufferment that BTR really faced on the first round. I mean, I kind of got to see their intentions well. They really want to get those elimination points, but unfortunately for them on the other side of the bridge, for tries, yes, they were able to get a pick off or two, but it really just slowed them down overall. So if ever they just continue to play on their pacing and probably adapt to what's currently going on, probably because it's just sense what the future may hold, and maybe till then, bro, we might be able to see them on top.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to keep an eye out for such instances. And then when we go in for predictions coming in from our dear producers, they're banking on hopes that, you know, we're going to be getting those kind of big ones coming from Team Flash yet again. And I think like in Miramar, they've been able to also have certain achievements of their own. So looking rather promising of what they really offer moving into these upcoming matches.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of these teams can definitely show a lot of promise here. They can definitely own the spotlight in their own sense of time as well. And it's just all going to come down to who can really have the better reads in regards to what the game brings you into the situation, maybe the flight path or the circle itself. We don't know. I mean, that's just, you know, the nature of PUBG. Once again, it's just a pretty volatile game, bro.
It definitely is a little bit more volatile, but I would definitely say that at least some of the teams, they have just about good enough protocols to, you know, maintain a certain order going on to certain scenarios, whether if they're taking on a team fight, whether if they're kind of far away from the zone. There's definitely ample ways that some of these teams maneuver. Now that, you know, Boom Esports have gotten some of their nemesis already disqualified through the playoffs, I think like Boom Esports will also have decent recovery as well. Yesterday, moving into the top three, just to recall on, you know, some of the performances of the set teams back in the playoffs. Boom Esports make it into the playoffs. I mean, make it into the grand finals barely by the tail end because of them having to secure that top three finish. So I'm thinking that maybe they can just ride on that high momentum that they had coming in from yesterday in order to do a lot more today.
And we'll see about it here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of projections that, you know, not just us here on the caster, that's going to be projected here contract. There's still going to be the viewers as well looking forward to root out for the respective teams here from the respective countries, perhaps, or, you know, just the crowd favorites overall. But we've seen a lot of dark horses. We've seen a lot of underdogs take the spotlight. And the next thing you know, the teams that we barely get to mention actually is going to be the next thing that will actually rise up to the top. And that's just the beauty of PUBG Mobile.
Yep, it's always been a glorious run for some of all these teams. And this is where, you know, when you pit the best of the best coming out of both sides of the region, they're arguably the best in the world as well. If you take a look at, you know, recent track records, especially during the EWC, half of these names are, you know, over onto the podiums of the EWC, including even Yangon Galacticos, who won that EWC for the first time ever. So it's always great that we actually get to witness it firsthand that, hey, we're the ones rooting them here from the grassroots level. So, of course, we will continue to cheer them on. So I really want to, you know, see if any of these new names that join us, like AZ Slumber, like, you know, Nepex, which unfortunately didn't make it to the finals, who will be able to, you know, use this platform in order to really grind and become future champions.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's just definitely a lot of the, you know, times where a lot of these teams just, you know, has to be silent, and then all of a sudden they just have the sense of time to shine at most. And don't exactly know what's going to be the hold up here and why we're still not really heading straight towards the game itself. But one thing for sure, I know for sure you guys are excited, and we're pretty excited as well. And we're just ensuring as well that before we actually head straight towards the battlefield of Miramar on this round number 2, that everything's going to be smooth and tidy before we head straight towards the action.
Yep, and overall, I think that it's been a very beautiful pacing coming in once we do get ourselves into the game. So, yeah, we're just going to chill for a little bit while, you know, we are getting ourselves ready for our upcoming run. So, look at all these teams that have been, you know, having the biggest of improvements. The Savior, I mean, of course, is definitely securing themselves the best performance with the chicken dinner. But you take a look at 7-9. I think 7-9 is something that is interesting of a case study when it comes down to how they really play, because they're not that conventional team where, oh, you have one main fragger and then like everyone plays around that one main fragger. It really feels like they're multifaceted, where sometimes their support, their usual sniping guy, Viren, is the one high fragging, or do you expect Yuhai to be the ones over the front line? They actually send somebody else. So it's really something that I've been taking notice for quite a while on how exactly does this team function. I still couldn't really break it down for now.
Yeah, man. It's definitely pretty tough to, you know, get the reads out of these scenes, because coming into the game goes by pretty quickly. There's just a lot of situations involved, and you know, it's really just all going to come down to them in regards to how fast are they going to be able to adapt to like the granted scenario as well. And you did mention that as well, you know. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is the day number 1 of the grand finals here for the RUTHLESS Invitational Showdown 12. And we're going to be heading straight towards the second round soon enough.
Yep, and of course, anytime now, Mr. Producer. So, of course, while we are waiting for all of that to actually go on, I believe that there's a few other things that we've definitely been able to catch back into, you know, those runs that we've had back in the playoffs. So I look at the South Asia side. I think T2K as of late really has shown some performances. Like even the past round, as much as T2K didn't really pop off as compared to, you know, expectations, they did manage to at least secure a couple of placement points. They were part of the top 4 in the form of placements. It's just that the rest of the field right now is really high fragging coming into this early span match. Of course, there was that funnel since everyone was going into the islands, but arguably the teams that love playing strategically kind of need to make a shift. Do you think that this is going to be a little bit of a difficult task, like, you know, MVKE as well as T2K?
Yeah, definitely, man. And, you know, for both of those teams that you mentioned as well, I got to say T2K is definitely coming across pretty closely in regards to having those, the momentum shifting towards them. For the set of Vikings, I mean, we've seen a lot of fair share. I have highlights as well where they were bound to, take it up on a pedestal, but it's just unfortunate that they do kind of struggle as well to put themselves into the top 5 mixture for most of the rounds. But hey, we've only tackled the first initial round for the first day of the grand finals. Maybe we may be able to see a lot more things as well from them later on.
Probably so. So, of course, we'll keep an eye out for that. So, at the meantime, you guys could just chill around, tell us your thoughts, who you guys are thinking that of when it comes down to this upcoming round of Miramar. Like, there's just so many possibilities out there. Make sure you guys, keep the chat rolling. Also, keep the banters clean. I know some of you guys are, deeply in love with your team, but no hate towards the others. That's for sure. So, that being said, though, I mean, since we got some time, out of the many teams, who do you think that I know, like, by right, a lot of these teams are champions of their regions and stuff like that, but do you think that there's a dark horse in this tournament right now that, had some struggles back in the playoffs and will be able to make a very close call for that smashing chicken dinner by day 4?
Who could be the dark horses that actually fits into that type of play style? I gotta say, First Rise is definitely gonna be one of them. I mean, I wouldn't really call them like the direct dark horse here. They definitely shine at most, but they haven't been the most promising. I mean, it's not the same Force Rise that I've been remembering that has been so dominating. But I feel like Fourth Rise is definitely one of those crews that you can definitely watch out for as well. And probably try Massey.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think, like, overall, the teams coming from SA have so much potential. I mean, they've proven it globally as well as of recent. So I want to see that kind of prime form. And finally, we do have the numbers counting down from our screen. Ladies and gents, we're about to dive into our first match of Miramar in the grand finals.
Yeah, let's get it on here. 20 seconds separates us from the game itself. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have enough time right now to share the broadcast all across your friends, family, your pets, your dogs, your cats, your fish, everyone, include everyone. Don't want anyone to miss out the action that will be happening here in this grand finals as we start things off now here for the first round of Miramar, at least. Round number 2 to overall here for this broadcast. Let's get it on here, Contra. Let's see where this one's going to be heading towards to come for the strike here in Miramar.
Here we go, man. You got me hyped up, and I really want to see how this one unfolds. Starting things off in Puerto Paraíso, this is going to be a very southern-centric flight. So this one bypasses only the southern section of the city. So the teams who are aiming for central areas are still going to be fine to actually traverse across. But anywhere further north, I think that it's just going to be a plan B option for those teams that like to drop into, El Azahar or so. I mean, there can be an extension, but a little bit risky with those kind of situations that you have to battle other teams for vehicles.
Definitely a lot of, I would say, outside control here for this map. I think the longest slide you can come from and actually accumulate something probably going to be San Martin as well. El Pozo is definitely going to be in the mixture, but we've seen a lot of teams actually put a lot of efforts on Al Azhar, and you did mention as well. And alongside that, Cruz del Val. And a lot of teams, try to also put themselves into the run for a Campo Militar, but definitely not going to be in the picture. But hey, Val del Mar is going to be put into the mixture here, so we'll see if there's going to be anyone climbing towards the direction. Chumaquero might just be a pretty hot drop. Same goes for Los Leones. Picado, definitely going to be a big notable drop as well there. There's going to be a pretty interesting intention though from the side of AZ Slumbers. They're going to go directly southern side of the map, which not exactly too certain what's going to be the play for this one. But fortunately though, we take a look at the circle here. This might just be the best flight path for the circle, initial circle out of this round.
This is probably the kindest delivery to all these players where, you guys might not get your drop spots, so it doesn't matter. We're all in the zone. But speaking of which, we're already seeing a little party going on. AESD challenges AZ Slumber at the very same spot. These two teams, they rarely come into this section, and it seems like it's going to be a full-on fist fight. But they're taking any form of scrappy weapons to actually go on it, out and about. UMP just about good enough for them to push right through.
You see Win 94 for a moment or so. An AR with a bipod. held down. Sniper into the face, looking like they want to go for some quick scopes, but looking like so far, it's going to be players with Easy Slumber here in control, and they find a means to take down what Warden, so-called the Dark Forces, already out from the round.
Oh boy, it's just so explosive as we're kicking things off. And AZ Slumber, these guys, they were at the brink of elimination, and now here are the party screwball for and T2K. We were just mentioning them right before the show, and now they got themselves cooked up with the rest of Team Secret charging true.
Yeah, the more we talk about teams, the more bounty that they have on their heads, bro. Like, we gotta tone down sometimes. So unfortunate for T2K, but at least it's only one down here so far. Got things back here for Team Secret, which actually, funny enough, is one of the more favorable teams as well here for the set of Miramar. But as soon as they say that, the one player gets knocked out. Yep. Wait, keep on yapping, Warden. Keep on using these teams, bro.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, Contra, Warden, you guys got to shut up for a little bit because you guys are putting all the jinx and curses all around. I mean, that's not what we really wanted to do anyways, but it is just the happenstance of what the current scenes are. Team Secret gunning in for more, getting that knock, beautiful angles as Doc looking to put a closure to the rest of T2K.
Yeah, let's get it here, Doke. Here so far, roaring out inside. Mimi's gonna be inside with the UFP sprays on by. Fights one down to the ground. Daiki looking at the trade here from the backside. Be able to get the backdoor entry. To be enough as well. Mimi does get the read, able to secure another elimination. Yuka's gonna be out. Big ol' spray. Frankie goes down. And now only one player persists for the side of Team Secret. That is gonna be our boy Daiki. Setting up strong with a pump to the face. One player by Sadas, and it is going to be the players from Team Secret now eliminated as well.
And they will not be denied, and they will prevail. Oh, that explosive charge coming from the rest of Team Secret goes down in flames instead. Oh, if only we've got a replay system. I mean, this fight was absolutely epic. Mimi almost faltered as well. Look at the health bars. It was that close. In that 1-versus-1 scuffle. Oh,
so close, but yet so far. Close, but no cigar. It is just going to be them trampling on their feet. Shockingly enough, though, look at the players from 7-9 and Talent Esports. They rotated towards the northern side of the map. Yep, they're like, okay, this is Miramar. So it's going to be coming in pretty late anyways. We're going to take our time here and just, loot up as best we can. The Vikings as well, having the whole vicinity of what? San Martin, Water Treatment, Hacienda, built a Tron for themselves as well. So it's not going to be a problem. I'm kind of dying to see as well what's happening there on Los Leones, because it does look pretty congested, but looking to be much more predominant by the players of Team Flash and Silicon Digital Alliance. Mapper Esports going to be hitting it from the northern side directly towards Los Leones, while APG will be coming from the western side of the map. RQ, though, they're going to be having a quick qualification in Bata East, so it's going to be great for them. Boom Esports, on the contrary, though, will be coming from the northern side of the Paraíso Island, so it is going to be them chilling this one through. As much as heavy as it was at the initial start of this game, looking like the spread is pretty much all equal here, so we're definitely going to be expecting a lot of stalemates as we progress towards this round here, at least on the stage here, Contra.
Certainly agree with that. I mean, Team Flash as well as CD Alliance, particularly, they've always shed that area when it comes down to Los Leones. One taking north, another taking the south side. So Team Flash, they're happily to oblige that, hey, so long as you don't stir onto our territory, we're not going to be, messing around with you guys unless it's really certainly necessary. So liking the approach that they're actually going with so far.
Hey, man. And take a look at it here for a set of Easy Slumber. I mean, they are taking a chill here so far as well. Too much things to worry about. I mean, you got the overview, they got everything that they need, but fortunately for them, there's not going to be any casualties in the process as well. I mean, they were able to take down Trevor Massey, and that's going to be granting them 4 elimination points here off this round already. So a little bit of the best starts out there, and it was definitely looking to be much more defined here comparing how it went out in Wrangell, where we were granted by 4 clashes right from the get-go, and there was just a lot of buddies dropping there. And even if the one squad is able to prevail out of the mess, they still lose a player or two in the process, which definitely bit them down in regards to how the definition would come by to a squad that should actually try to win off a round. And was pretty scrappy here, but this time around, it's definitely going to be a lot more staleness going on once again.
Yeah, I would just call it a calm before the storm, right? Overall, We definitely know that the top 18 teams, everyone can actually have the means to fight with their surefire power. It's really down to strategy on how they actually progress upon some of all these matchups. So definitely it is going to be a little bit of a dicey situation for some of these guys who, you know, look towards securing certain areas of play, and it's just kind of hard to really find that right configuration if you're going to be a little bit more on the outskirts. Some of the teams that did manage to at least secure some really good spots, namely APG, who always starts off in Sarah, or even some of all the other guys, they're feeling A-okay, and look at him go. The team charging towards T2K, they've already been weakened down to 2, and maybe still actually has it in the bag, taking down Viper.
Yeah, still looking to get some more Ignis, so he's going to be out away from the scene. Going to be coming there from the northern side of the map, but unfortunate for him, his teammate's going to get overwhelmed, and Yummy himself will be able to get the knock as well. Should be a secure elimination for himself. Yep, big pop to the face. It's going to be one less of a player they got to worry about here from the side of T2K Ignis. What more can you do? And they're going to be having the sense of commitment now, and Ignis can definitely fall back and disengage from this casualty, but definitely going to be a loss here for the side of T2K. While we take a look at the circle here, it's going to be shifting directly towards the southern side of the map, and we see this. We saw it in Wrangle, bro. I don't know what's up with southern side and of circles, but it's definitely happening here as well here in Miramar.
Oh yeah, and this is going all the way down under. So as much as I talk about APG having a good spot, now they're also in a little bit of a conundrum on how do they actually move deeper into the zone. Team Flash right now hunkering down. They were not too far off from south side of Los Angeles, so they are definitely in a firm control, and now taking upon yet another fight, charging right through the compound, trying to fend off up against the rest of these members of Alter Ego. They're just swimming by, but it doesn't seem like Alter Ego is fully decided yet whether if they should really crash through, and yes, they will, with those 3 members taking the longhouse by the fairy tail end. So it's going to be back and forth trades with the nades to kick things off.
Kick things off here on a high note. Once again, Team Flash and Alter Ego Eris both have proven himself into this battlefield. But only one will prevail out of this. Nate flies by. Big shot so far. Win. Able to get a slight bit of connection there up to Rosemary 911. Pushing through here with the DBS. Up against the pump action. And Win gets the pump to the face. Team Flash now here dropping the numbers. And Badru now going to be closing up the distance as well here on the window side. Hopping up. Now going to be offering a 2v1 here up against Diaz. Rays on by. DBS on his hand. Both players have the DBS. Now it's a big 1v1. Hops in the air, but it's going to be Zia beating him to it. Badridge now going to be gone. Now, 1-for-1 trade here between Team Flash and Alter Ego Eris. No sense of definition whatsoever. It's looking to be a 3v3 situation as we speak here, Contra.
Oh, it's so close. And now going for a little bit of that reset before they actually further commit. And now with only those 2 members left, Alter Ego trying to jostle and hold up for control for the moment. Now full reset on the side of Team Flash. Back up against the wall. We'll really have to see if Alpha can actually form up a clutch. The Flames now tear through the windows. And now they're preferred by Krypton toss with an aid! And just like that, they sell the score.
Wow. Beautiful control there for the side of Team Flash. And you got to note though, it was Alter Ego Eris initiating the fight. They could have disengaged all they want to, but they fall on their feet there off the clash. That's just going to be an unfortunate look there for set of Alter Ego Eris, and maybe 2 rounds in a row where they're going to be pretty stale, not really going to be able to find the most of the impact. They're pretty much potentially able to get off the rounds, but for them, they're still going to be stuck there by 2 points as we progress towards the grand finals.
Yeah, it's just nail biting for some of these guys. Finding any form of creases just to hold on for the meantime. Over on the south side of Valley the Bar, it seems like Toad is going to be going for a little bit of chase. It's going to be off of his track, though. I mean, that was just a quick sprint over on the buggy for the member of Alter Ego. And the rest of these other players now trying to see if they could even find any space to even cut right through. Whereas Vampire Esports, they're dead in the center, trying to find a spot for them to eventually creep up over onto the rest of Cellcom TG Alliance. While Toad slow and steady. 2 points for this climb. AZ Slumber starts off with those 4 points, and right now, some of these guys are slowly getting depleted as AZ Slumber had that vehicle detonated, and now they're being forced to this fight up against the rest of the Xavier.
It just seems to be no man's land here at all between AZ Slumber and the Xavier. But Durkin from the back, gonna go for the spray. One more bullet to connect, and that's gonna be the knock by Nate. And only one more player to worry about here. On the contrary, should it be AZ Slumber now here falling apart? The last and final player for the set of AZ Slumber is nowhere to be seen. Draw our visuals here towards 4 Thrives here at Esports, and gonna be off the rotation. But if you take a look at the map as well, that is gonna be APG here coming across them pretty nearly, but they go and avoid the scene here. So that's gonna be a casualty that they might not have to worry about for the time being.
Yeah, not too much of a cause of concern for now. Meanwhile, the rest of the players of Alpha Gaming, they take a slow journey as they are just not too far from where they were inside of Chumacera, and they found a couple of these players flying around the hillside. They heard those shots, and this is 4 tries trying to hold down the line up against the rest of BTR. And this is a very tricky scenario, even for BTR to even try to navigate. They actually have a member pushing forward, and it's going to be Falak actually charging right through towards the majority of the rest of BTR.
I'm going to get this one through here. It's a beautiful car, by the way. Oops. Moving back here, 4 Thrives. I like to want to go up against the fight here up against BTR by Vitality, which has been my favorite team so far on this round of Miramar. 4 Thrives, so-called dark horses honor my story. He's going to be flying by here for a set of XC. Not able to serve any connection whatsoever, and it's going to be a battle of pick-offs here for the time being, and they're going to be able to call for the reset here. 4 Thrives, they don't want to have any piece of that.
And they definitely don't want to be part of this messy situation. As they continue their way forward, they're already being peppered by a couple of all these sprays coming from the side of BTR, while BTR have one member coming to the shots, coming out of Vikings instead. I can barely see them on the minimap. And great onus on the side of Vexy to be able to try to trade back in order to buy a little bit more space and time. BTR right now by the edge of the zone. They really got to find their way out right now as they're getting pinched by these two teams.
Wow. House up their shots. Vexy's still trying to stay alive, and we'll be able to find one knock here off across the map. Better out going to go for the spray down here off on that vehicle, but not going to be close at all. The shots will be fired as well there from the Viking from the bottom side. Actually, the Xavier's as well. BTR look to have a pretty good hold here on this mountainside, but all across the feed, look at this. The players of the Xavier now closing out the distance.
They really want to choke out the rest of BTR. 2 members left. Can they do more? Red face immediately goes down. Ah, clean shots coming in from the side of the Xavier, but it's going to be traded right back. But still, damage being done. Now down to 1 versus 1. Levi's. Is it going to be allowed? He does actually have a couple more connections. And that was a point stolen away. BTR crumbled because there was some help coming from the rest of the Vikings.
Yeah, man. Superman up in there. Oh. Able to get it done. Yep. Superman once again saves the day for the rest of the crew, but it was definitely not going to be a problem there for the set of the Xavier, but Superman just made it happen. BTR now is going to be away from the scene, and that's going to be unfortunate for them. Only 1 point accumulated off this round, and 3 points in total. Definitely a bit of a stale round as well here. I'm coming from the last 2 here for them. And we draw things back here with Team Flash, where it might possibly meet the players of the Xavier as well from the top side, but I don't exactly know if they know the call.
Yeah, this is a rough call. Thankfully, there was just about enough time for them to actually go in to pick up all these 3 members, where the Xavier is going to be trying to move as far as they could away from Team Flash, and there was those members of Vikings early on that was actually putting up a little bit of a tough shot over on the corner, but it didn't really deter them. Instead, it deterred the rest of BTR. So it's like, thanks, buddy. I owe you maybe a bond me once we're done with this run. And, well, so long as they don't duke out up against each other later on. So Fajar finds one up against the Alliance, but they're on rotation, though. So I wonder what really went on.
I wonder so as well. So far, I mean, Silicon Digital Lines, yeah, I mean, they've been pretty silent here all across this round. And that's kind of like serving how they did as well. Nature serves it all there on a wrangle where just took it slow. and started to shine and pop off later on. But now shots being fired by Sem9. The Malaysians once again, the Tigers to be hunting the Wolves here. Boom Esports good for the pop here. High Q on the back, throwing some shots, but fortunately for Boom Esports, there's still going to be enough distance drawn away for them to call for the reset.
Yeah, they've been on the prowl for a long time right now. It's now big decisions for Sem9. I mean, we're only actually playing this round with only 3 players. Yet again, they've been able to actually survive into top 13. I mean, you see majority of all these teams that got depleted, it's basically a full-on commitment, where majority of the others are still relatively healthy. Arguably, maybe not so much for the side of AZ Slumber. They got kicked out by D-Saver as well, being forced to basically play in between. Speaking of that, remember AZ Slumber is in between both Todak as well as APG, and somehow nobody sniffed them out yet at this moment.
Yeah, it's pretty wild here. Pushing through. Team Flash now here, coming across the players of the Xavier. And as much as the Xavier was able to pull away off the first round, not really looking so right for him. And this time around, Team Flash though going to be calling it quits just a little bit. They are going to be looking to rotate there towards the back as well. Probably try to offer a pitch or just get a little bit more recon after all. There's still going to be 13 squads from in here. And you are still talking about stage 5 off this round. Now the Vikings some shots as well. That is going to be Team Flash here throwing some bullets to the direction of Team 24 and the rest of the crew of Forest Rise. And they're going to secure one on the nation in the process here. Contra.
Oh, they're definitely vying for a whole lot more. From the low ground now, going for a little bit more push. Sem9 loses 1. I'm not too sure if they could actually deal with this current situation because they're currently split apart. So they won't be able to actually hunker down to even have any form of response up against the rest of MGF Viking. And therefore, they opt to retreat into the further portions of the warehouse. Try to reconvene at the very least. Oh, shots from out. Over onto the buggy. Not going to deter Vexcry, but here comes the Nonton finally taking out Gacha Kuta.
Oh my days. Hey, Plumber now going to be out away from the scene. That's going to be Todak here. Up against APG. APG on the top side inside of the compound. But Nakul from the back actually able to secure the kill. From the side of Talon Esports, it's going to be a 3-way clash here. Up against Talon Esports who are looking to put themselves into the picture. Todak, they can go for the strike anytime. He's going to be swinging on by quite out in the open. But in the process, no, Sem9 is going to be eliminated by the players of Celcom Digi Alliance.
My. More to go as they now draw in the entire full force of the squad to ring right through. The rest of Todak looking to isolate East, knowing that he's being depleted a little bit. I believe that it's still going to be a decent hold with that kind of spread that APG has, as they're doing just fine for the meantime. But as I say that, the bombardment is slowly chunking onto them.
Going through here, a pretty prolonged clash, but now Todak are going to be trying to go for the entry here from the left side of the map. It's a fully composed squad here for the players. So Todak up against APG, Doc, Refus, Zeol. Do you have what it takes to hold your ground? And so far, it's going to be clicking on by here. He's looking to throw this one through. Not going to be able to get the connection out just yet. Pill's going to be popped as well. They want to ensure that they're going to be fully conditioned here before they head straight towards the clash. Now they're moving quick here. Now definitely going to be closing up the distance here. Slowly but surely they call, but now the players of Talon Esports is going to be hitting it from the backside, so it could be a pitch as well here to be offered up against Todak. Refus tries to go for the shot here with a DPS, but can't sustain. But no, never mind. Able to get a shot there to connect up against man up from the side of Todak. Then now it's going to be Talon Esports as well, putting themselves into the mixture. Back and forth as we see Alpha Gaming here on again the trap of the players. But Todak in the process, they start off the fight, but they can't sustain their lives.
Oh, they could not really finish it off, and now the rest of Talons are swinging by as well on the wicked side of APG. And look who's here, RQ. Everybody wants a piece of this ground, and there's just barely enough space for APG to even hold on to.
Definitely going to be barely anything at all. APG has been through so much clashes already inside of this compound. They can't catch a break, but they're playing their hearts out. Refus once again gets a knock to the face of the players of RQ. Noga Ryu here looking to get the trade, looking to get the pickup, but now in the process, APG will get eliminated. But the battle still ensues. It's now going to be the players of Talon Esports here. Nakul gets dropped by Dusty from the right side of the map. Pushing pushing through. Next up from the back as well, getting sprayed by the players before it drives. It's a 4 clash here, Contra.
And it seems like RQ, they're really taking charge of this battle. And the rest of Talent Esports, they're holding on over the corners of the container. How much longer can they actually hold on? Apparently not. And it's a dominating spree for RQ. Oh, what a feast for all of us here with the biggest teams just going on the full clash. And now all of that subsides. And could RQ make their way inbound where Vampire Esports is directly in the center?
What a segment. What a sequence we got. Now the game continues here with the Xavier Team Flash, the Vikings, Boom Esports, Telcom Digital Alliance, RQ and Vampire Esports alongside 4 Thrives. 25 for the live out here on round number 2 of the grand finals. 24 OP gonna go for the spray up against the players of RQ, but are you so certain you want to take that fight away? You're only all alone. Have you seen what RQ did to those boys? Not exactly. It was a murder on that compound there, Contra.
Yeah, it was pretty much slaughterhouses being set up over on that course. And right now, they're bound for a whole lot more 6 points. Looking for 10 if they can shut out the rest of Boom Esports. Can they do so is the big question. Plenty of smokes now. Pop right through. Boom Esports barely holding on. But they do have some creases that they can actually find some cover from. But does it remain to see the rest of these RQ members, do they have enough stocks to actually go for the exchange? Because last fight, they've just cleared out their baggages.
Definitely now. Big old spray here once again. You see here from the top side, Boom Esports, they're just playing. Holding things down. The smoke's going to be deployed here. That's going to be buying him enough coverage. Mission's not going to be so much spotted here for them. Game persists here with Boom Esports looking to actually draw the distance closer to the players of RQ. Yummy here. Nade's going to be hooked up. You put this one down. One player down to the ground for the side of the RQ, and then going to be one less player that they got to worry about here inside of the clash. But in the process, the winners of the previous round, the Xavier, will be eliminated.
The Xavier, I mean, they held on for so long, they couldn't really find any form of that avenue. And now, down to the last couple of all these spaces for the top 5. And it seems to me that it will be pretty much the circle swerving into the favor of the ones that are smack dab in the middle. And Vampire Esports is going to have a good time from here on out. But the big question is, if RQ as well as Boom Esports is taking that duel, once they win, can they actually overwhelm the rest of Vampire Esports? Definitely.
Now it's going to be a battle fighting now here once again. Boom Esports, they want to finish off what they started, and they wipe away the players of RQ. And now we get to see the tally now. Here comes True. Only 6 spots remain now. Vampire Esports crawl to the ground here. Just stand up against the players all around the cost. I mean, they got pretty strong control here inside of the compound, but going to be circled around by the players here, and it's not going to be the easiest thing to deal with later on. But we do come across a bit of a stalemate. But on the feed, Vikings actually able to find one player of Telcom Digital Alliance, and he is going to be able to find one player from the side of Telcom Digital Alliance as well.
10 points already for Team Flash. I mean, they've been racking things up from the get-go, and right now, can they actually go in for the full cleanup? Vikings now, just by the edges, squeezing right past them. That member of Telcom Digital Alliance, Adik Luke, trying to hold firm. Just by the corner of the shack, Trang now putting a little bit more pressure towards him. Telcom Digital Alliance, I'm not quite sure whether they can actually get more position, because who they're up against is all a matter of 4 stacks. Everyone really proving themselves to be the big fraggers on the block.
Most definitely, yeah. We're down to the last 5 here remaining. Red Bull finds 9-6 away, and it drops down to composition of this last and final run. Probably the most defined last circle of it all, as we have 4 players of each squad now. Team Flash Tops has an overview of the players of the Vikings, but won't he beats him to win, and that's going to be win eliminated as well. From afar, Red Bull from Vampire Esports 5 stops, and that's going to be the last 2 players here for the side of Team Flash.
And this is why he is being deployed into VPE. The main marksman right now hitting the mark with balls. He's trying to take charge of this current altercation with the rest of these members of Vikings, just charging right in. And it seems like Superman, he does not care if there's a kryptonite in front of him. He will still prevail.
Vampire Esports feeling the groove. Don't you get it? Punch is so nearly, so smiling. Rooting for the squad, and you're definitely feeling it right now. And if ever they can get through the players of Boom Esports, might just be their game. They're holding on to a pretty strong position. But the players of Boom Esports has a pretty big control as well here on the parameter. There's not going to be any pitches to be offered here. They can go for the double trap from left to the right, but it's all going to come down to the timing here. The zone has to dictate the pace of this game. Can it be Vampire Esports, Boom Esports, or MVKE, the Battle of Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand? Let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Boom Esports strategizing, trying to seek out if they could find any form of pain points of Vampire Esports. He's looking around the open ground, so that is a very cheeky angle that they're actually going up against. Ripple needing to deal with these two teams is going to be a daunting task. I mean, he's doing a solid work as of the moment. Whereas, once Boom Esports strikes, then perhaps his attention span might need to be focused back over to Boom. And Gilly, he will be able to hold on. So that is not even close yet for Boom Esports. Now they have to find recovery at the base. Lop right through. Bombit barely dodging that one. And now it's a full set for Vampire Esports.
True Labs are going to get tagged out now, but they're going to be able to secure elimination. And now, only 2 players here for Jar alongside M. From the side of Boom Esports here trying to sustain their lives with the back. At their back, it's going to be the zone. And it's going to be Moonty actually finding Red Bull away. Double clash to be offered. And look at the players of the Vikings looking to offer the pinch from the back. Vampire Esports, they're not going to be ready for this.
This is going to be so tough. I mean, Vikings hop on their trails. The nade actually connected over on the member of VP, but he goes in for the jump shot. Oh, he finds it in return. Mastery goes down, and now they need that quick reset because the rest of the Vikings, they close in. The nades are flying right through, and they are backs up against the wall.
The Vikings, the vampires, ensues the crusade, the battle, the last and final stand of it all. Nate's flying by. A battle of Thailand and Vietnam. Let's get it on.
Here we go. 2 members being pinned, and the Molotov connects. Oh, Superman, he's got it. He's gonna fight all of them, and the Vikings triumph over the barren deserts of Miramar.
Oops. Bloopers. There we go. It's gonna be the Vikings. Your boys from the MGN Vikings Esports claiming the second round of the Grand Finals. It was definitely the exam on the first round. Second they go here for the side of Vikings. And we talked about them at the start of the broadcast. I mean, they definitely had their own fair share of the spotlight, but weren't really able to close things out for quite some time. And finally they do it at the perfect time here on the Grand Finals.
It was all about just getting themselves into position, I guess, for the playoffs where they're not really showing what their potentials are when it comes down to firepower. And here they finally do. They finally open up all these kind of fights which they weren't willing to take back in the playoffs. And it's just a great look for the side of MVKE. Now, we talked about dark forces. Perhaps this will be the one that triumphs above the rest.
What a spectacular round overall there. I mean, you know what, bro? As much as in control Vampire Esports was, the Vikings, they knew exactly when to strike, and that was when it was the Vampires' weakest. And you know, they knew for sure that, oh, on the feed, wait, they're dealing with Boom Esports. Actually, let's put ourselves to the picture and make sure that they're not able to get the reset up against us. And look at the nades, the mollies, disconnecting the utilities overall. I never knew the Vikings could, any sense of Vikings can actually use nades and Molotovs properly.
Modern day Vikings they are. So, you know, maybe back in the days, if they found gunpowder, they will do exactly the same. We'll never know. But of course, we got to look at some of the incredible stats coming out. Woonty as well as Superman. And it really felt like they just told Trang as well as Tins, you know what? You just have to look after a Woon as well as Superman, and Ware's just going to win the game for you. So it seems like the case. What's interesting is the fact that the two main fraggers have like 700 over damage, and then the other have literally identical damage being done.
Yeah, man. I mean, damage definitely is a big factor overall. You know, you're getting the tag there, and I feel like Dragon Tints definitely was one of those squads that was just able to, you know, get the initial attach-ups, and it's just so fortunate there Superman and Wunti was just there to really secure this one through, and that's going to be a pretty great start here for the grand finals for this Vietnamese squad. Vikings, I mean, again, they've always drawn closer and closer to the winner chicken there, and finally they do actually strip this one through to find here on this grand finals round number 2.
That's right, and overall, I mean, we've definitely seen the level of tenacity that this team has, and the understanding of the situation was just sublime. I mean, they knew that they could actually prey onto those teams who are getting themselves busy in the mix of the battle, and they were thankful to Boom Esports. You know, they're the ones that stirred the nest for the members of Vampire Esports. And then VPE, I mean, that spot was so hard to really take away from them. Even, of course, understandably, Boom Esports struggled to even bypass when the rest of VPE kind of funneled in towards their direction. So that being said, I still think that it's been great recovery, and Boom Esports, I said before, now that there's nobody stopping them inside Impala, they get to play a decent game, getting themselves in the top 4, and of course, Vikings, so far, this is just their strength in numbers, and also the sheer understanding of what needs to be done at every given point in time.
Yeah, I just gotta say how consistent Superman has been in regards to playing this inside of the tournament. Whenever the Vikings trample, Superman is always there. And it's just kind of ironic to say that, you know, it's acting like he's the hero of the table all day, but he was definitely a true big factor in regards to, you know, just bagging in the eliminations. Now we take a look at a bit of a head-to-head comparison here between them and Vampire Esports. And I gotta say, second time in a row where Vampire Esports was so freaking close to getting the chicken dinner. That only happened now. They got compared with the Xavier earlier. They're going to get compared here with Vikings, which they're going to have 8 eliminations once again. Exactly how it went down on the first round for them. Now we move over towards the MVP of the match, and that is going to be Team Flash Zias overall.
Yeah, I think that Team Flash definitely have shown that they are fighters over onto those corners of the map, but they were taking too many of these fights that resulted in them getting completed. But out of the many, Zeus, okay, according to Sir Cloud, he says that he spoke to the players. So how do I pronounce your name? It's actually Hugh. But then again, if it's Hugh, why do you add a Z and an S? But, you know, I guess I don't question that, but we'll still call him Zeus, man. I mean, he's like the god of thunder, striking everything down, being the MVP of the match.
If Zeus is here, then where's Hades? Where's Aphrodite? No, I'm kidding. we got you know, a battle that I want to see inside of PUBG Mobile and outside of in real life as well. It's definitely gonna be Zeus and Superman, bro. I feel like that would be a pretty strong matchup overall. But take a look at the top performers here. That's going to be you alongside 1T, Superman, and Red Bull overall. So that's going to be our top 4 squad remaining there, and it's going to be the match leaderboards now here. 19 points has been accumulated out of the Vikings, 9 off the elimination, 10 off the placement, and it's 19. Quick maths, by the way. Vampire Esports and Team Flash going to be tied up here with 14 points in total. Boom Esports with 12, 7% of our IQ. Cyclone Digital Alliance will actually have 5. Alongside the Xavier and AZ Slumber 4 for 4. Alongside T2K Esports, Forge Fry, Stallion Esports, APG. Alongside Todak will have 3 for themselves. Team Secret will have 2, and only 1% of BTR, and the rest 50 still on this round.
Yeah, I still gotta say it's very top heavy, but who actually is some of the biggest winners out there for the past rounds? Vampire Esports, I mean, twice being on second place, they should be currently sitting very close to the top, if not the top at the moment. Finally, we got every single piece of all these elimination points on the block with a total of 66, or should I say maybe 4 members got depleted by the zone or so. Despite so many numbers out there, I'm a little disappointed that the headshots is only 7 because we've seen bigger numbers than that. But Bose, that was probably the longest shot that we've seen so far. 395, just 5 more in order to make the big 400.
Definitely, man. And, it was a pretty hefty round there, and it was a pretty prolonged one as well. And we take a look at the overall rankings. Vampire Esports going to be there on top of the board, actually. Because of how consistent they've been. The Xavier, they do drop down as well towards the number 2 spot, but the Vikings climbing 6 rankings coming from this very round itself, and Team Flash low at 3. Up for set of 7-9, APG and T2K, they do drop 4-3 and 2, while Cyclone Digital Alliance, they do involve themselves into the mixture for the number 9 spot, and Boom Esports, on the contrary, is going to be pretty stale there on the number 5 spot.
Yeah, I think maintaining in the top 5 is just about as good enough. I mean, they're not too far off from eventually racing to the top again. Keep in mind, I mean, end of the day, there's still going to be that smash rule, so most likely not, it's not going to be done when it comes down to day 4. Meanwhile, the rest of the field will still need to really get themselves recovered. Overall, they got to adapt to this brand new pacing here in the grand finals. There's yet to be points guarded from inside of AST. Team Secret also only walk away with 2 points together alongside with Alter Ego as well as BTR. So all the big names for the playoffs having a little bit of slumber, while AZ slumbered themselves are actually ahead of some of these guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you know, for Secretary Ramassi, unfortunately for them, they've gone through what? Pretty 2 pretty heavy rounds off the get-go, and they've been just, you know, finding themselves into those casualties, which just hasn't been, you know, the most revolutionary thing to really happen, especially when you are now here at the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't exactly know what to tell you, Contra, but I'm definitely lost for words here, but we still got what, 4 rounds to go before we head straight towards you know, the next initial day itself. So there's still going to be a lot of actions up ahead.
That's right. So we're going to be taking a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you on to the next round and Miramar once more.
Step into the ring.
Here in the grand finals, it's been 2 back-to-back wins for Vietnam already. When is it going to be the rest to show up to take a bite of that chicken dinner as well? Well, Oh, somebody took a bite early on the break, and of course, my boy Warden is joining alongside me, Contra, as we'll be your casters for the entirety of the evening. We got 4 days of the grand finals. You're in the best timing possible, as we only kicked off with our 2 matches. So, game 3, this time we're shifting things up a little bit. We're going back to Miramar again. So do you expect to see pretty much the same names on the block to be stealing the show?
Hey, you know what, man? I'm coming from what I've seen from the last 2 rounds. It has been rightfully owned, but it's out of Vietnam. So whoever, I don't care who is it going to be, as long as from Vietnam, I'm going for Vietnam, bro.
Fair enough. I mean, I think the ones that is missing on the block right now is Team Flash. I mean, they were pretty much having a member to be the MVP of that last round, so they're not too far off of that radar as well. But then again, big question now remains: Alter Ego, BTR, some of these guys, I mean, they're not looking so hot right now as compared to, you know, what we saw coming in from the past couple of days.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see later on as well on what more they can offer. Go back to Miramar once again, and boom. I mean, yeah, we've had the exhibit already. We have the Envy and Vikings. Now, what's left remaining is definitely going to be Team Secret or Team Flash. So it's just going to be a toss-up between those two, but I feel like in some way, if it's going to be a wrangle, then definitely going to be Team Flash. But on Miramar, I kind of feel like Team Secret has this one on the bag. So, hey, let's go down for down, band for band here for the side of Team Secret here. I'm going to be going for Team Secret for my prediction.
Okay, so you're going for another Vietnamese team. So that makes us both the same, except that I'm picking Team Flash this time around.
Okay.
So let's actually get it on the board. Are you gonna join on the Vietnam hype train production? Maybe there's DX on the board. So, of course, no pressure, no pressure. Go ahead, take whatever you want. Brought, we're still gonna be looking to break that free. Oh, MVKE. Okay. Back-to-back chicken dinner. They call for it.
Okay, so it's a battle of Vietnam here. And we kind of did this exact similar vote for a set of BTR by Vitality. And if I'm not mistaken, we did actually get it right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So let's see if it's going to be a Vietnamese squad winning this one through or not. Regardless, there's going to be somewhat of a, you know, they're a bit more, what do you call this? I forget the word, but it's definitely going to be more specific for one of us here. Is it going to be Team Secret? Is it going to be MG and Vikings or Esports? Or is it going to be Team Flash? We don't exactly know. Or is it even going to be Vietnam in this round? We don't exactly know, bro.
Nah, no idea at all. I mean, it's just that some of these guys are really putting on a real good show. You know, I was hoping to actually see much more coming out of that part Esports. Last round, it came close, got overwhelmed. So now I'm like changing the tides. I'm like, yeah, feeling maybe a cup of like a good Vietnamese coffee will do me real good right now to really back up my evidence of how well these guys have been playing so far. But on top of that, I think like even names like CD Alliance and a few other notable mentions have been able to really keep up to the spree of all these teams. So much as we say it was very top heavy, it's still very skirmishy from all around the block. So I can't wait to get this one once again running as we will now take flight on our third map of the day.
Yeah, let's get it here. The flight path is going to be across from the north side of the map. So, hey, looking to be pretty good here so far. And it seems to be pretty centralized as well. So I'd be able to expect a bit of an even spread here for this very specific round here for the set of Miramar. Unlike on the first initial round on Miramar, where we actually saw it pretty much leaning towards the side of the map, and it was coming from across from the eastern side to the western side of the map. So it wasn't really looking good. But look at this though. This is probably one of the most straightest flight path in the center that we've had here in the season for the tournament here, Contra.
Yeah, I was almost going to reply to like, what, we have some weird kind of lines to be actually put up. Well, I'm just joking. Don't cancel me for that, chat. I mean, yeah, overall, things are looking very, very nicely set up for all the other teams out there, as this is going to allow majority of the team to just get to where they need to be. So, for most part, last time around, I mean, we've seen a lot of fights happening around that Minas Generalis area where we've had like T2K, who always fought Team Secret for that spot. It seems like they've already made a little bit more of that change. now that they are actually going into areas like St. Martin, which, to be honest, I think this is a better trade-off because St. Martin, you got more loot to actually work off from, and then if you still want to plot something up against Team Secret, they could absolutely do just that. Now, this is definitely interesting because we are once again getting a Southern-centric kind of ending. Could still be around that Los Leones or Impala area, so to speak.
Yeah, on Los Leones, we do have RQ, Team Flash, and back on Digital Alliance. Boom Esports are going to come from the north side of the map. There's going to be 2 squads as well here from the southern side, but time being, though, we're not really seeing a lot of hot drops coming in. I mean, drop clashes at all, so it'll be pretty still, but again, it's kind of like the nature you kind of want to expect, especially since the flight path was pretty centralized, and every team is just going to have their own respective, comfort drops, so definitely going to be a bit of a stale approach, but the circle, though, does shift towards the northern side of the map a bit more, so that could be, a bit of worry later on, but time being, no, it shouldn't be a problem, as we still got a minute and 30 seconds left to stall out.
Plenty of time for them to really work with, so maybe they just really want to reset a little bit more on those kind of tempo. Now that everybody actually gets their hands onto, fair enough resources across the map, then maybe it will be equal odds this time around where certain teams didn't manage to, have the right arsenal of tools for them to even traverse around the map. So D-Savior, they've definitely been an interesting bunch. I mean, they're the ones who went out the very first map back in Wrangle. And especially with Lamborghini back, it's been looking really good. I mean, all along there was this other player that's just named DX, which I've always thought like perhaps that could have actually been Lamborghini. And over on the AL, we got MyV. So I don't know if you guys can ever look up MyV. We've got so many memes about MyV because this is kind of like the running joke where they're the kings of the road. It's a small little car, but they always act like they're the boss of the road, even besting things like a BMW,
I actually didn't know that that's how you were able to pronounce MyV. Yeah, something like that. I feel like I'm gonna butcher that sentence, and I get called by production. What the hell did you just say?
Yeah. So MyV is kind of like a short for My Vision, like Malaysian Vision, whatever you want to call it. And hence why they call that vehicle MyV. But now we got this player named Ivy. Like, I don't know what to make of it.
I swear, these pro players with their names, definitely a lot of questions sometimes.
Yeah, well, at least it's not too vulgar. I've seen some really nasty ones back in the past. One
had a conversation. We
talked about it. We're not going to say what names there are, but yeah, y'all be wilding out there. Meanwhile, it's not too wild to kick things off. This is probably the quietest start that we've ever gotten. 3 minutes in, no action whatsoever.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, not even a blood drop at all. I mean, this is pretty silent. And if anyone made a call that, I don't like to play at Miramar because of how stale and how boring it can be, this might just be a prime example of like how low it can definitely be, especially when the flight path doesn't really be a pain in the butt, So yeah, definitely gonna be all equal here. Nothing much happening. Just a moment of silence for these teams, but truly enough, I mean, the longer that they take to deal up against each other here on this first stage, the more compact that the next three circles are going to be. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be preparing myself for when it does come around here, Contra.
Yeah, by stage 3, you'll see it's just going to be a jumble up mess. I mean, this is more like the usual pacing of most of these pro teams where, you go in for proper setups. You do your own basic protocols like sending members to scout, looking at around surroundings that you could basically take its checkpoints and then continue on to the pursuit. But speaking of the silence, I think it's about to be getting a little bit more noisy between the two teams. I mean, just my assumption though, no guarantees because Woon, he just drove nearby those members of BTR. So he's just basically tracking.
Yeah, stop playing it cool, bro. I mean, you just jinxed it. That's the thing, bro. I'm playing it off, Contra. You just jinxed it, man. Could have been a situation, but you had to mention it. You just had to let it happen, bro. Crazy, though, actually has an overview, and he actually finds Wunty on the mountainside, so you might be right on this one. And actually, on the other side of the map, alter ego areas just come across and meet the players of Boom Esports, but they don't really go for the commitment. I feel like everyone's just taking their time here, and I don't exactly know what kind of thoughts that they were able to gather back in the drawing board between the round itself, but one thing for sure, they are definitely playing this one hello safely.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, some of these areas where Alter Ego is wrapping around, it's going to be rather dangerous. Boom Esports now just finish off their loot by the corners of Impala and looks to take the southern wrap instead. Interesting enough, they started off because of the flight path directly into areas like Crater Field, so they are actually extending their hole over onto the circle. Boom Esports looking to garner a little bit more control. Krypton now getting tagged up. The Indonesian side going at each other, and it seems like Crazy, another fine individual coming from Indonesia, managing to get one knockoff over on the side of Cellcom TG Alliance.
Pushing through here. Gonna be falling back. Rosemary 911 getting pretty much tagged up. Fortunately, has still 2 first aids to hold on to as well, so he can definitely get the reset. But on the feet, he is finally finds Yummy going down to the ground, and that's gonna be the first blood here, brought to you by GSF Team Flash.
Beautiful work so far. As we finally break the silence coming in from all these teams, and now they get a little bit more involved. Zeus, the MVP of the past round. Naps won once again, coming in from such a distance as well. I mean, he's definitely known for those close quarter combat, but now it just goes to show that he's pretty much dangerous from all kinds of range. So teams will really have to respect that territory of Team Flash over the south side of the Jonas. Whereas Toda now taking a very late approach, same goes to 7-9. And I think it pays off for 7-9 because it moves back into Pachinki, and it is going to be a big form of rotation coming from all these teams. So we will see the grand migration taking place real soon.
Unfortunate casualties here for the Boom Esports, and there's going to be a lot more to come as Rosemary off the mini 14 shots him all through. Beautiful shots, going to be able to attack him down as well. The cavalry tries to arrive, but it's a bit too late. And now the players of Team Flash actually, no, won't be the cavalry of Boom Esports. It's definitely going to be Team Flash here looking the closest one out and might be able to steal out the kill. Just going to try to check on by, but yep, it's going to be just stealing out another kill, but a lot more fights to go. But for the side of Team Flash, though, they don't really got to go for the commitment here, and they are throwing some shots in the process, but they can definitely back away, and they're looking like that's exactly the same call.
I just love how cheeky Team Flash actually goes in just to, you know, steal those points away. And if I were the opposite team, I'll be like super mad about that situation. I worked so hard, man. Like I shot that from 400 meters away, and you just come here and took my point off. I'm like, I don't know. Like
it's not my fault. You're too slow.
yeah. Absolutely. They were way too far out ahead in the field as well. I mean, they should have maybe just swing right by, just like what Team Flash did. Whereas the rest of Bigatron, back then it was Red Aliens, and there was like so many iterations. And now, of course, they've been working alongside with Vitality, and 2 powerhouses of each respective region now combined. I mean, they were the kings of Europe, and you could argue kings of the world as well. I mean, back to EWC, so many different titles. Vitality has been able to win it, and Bigatron by Vitality, this is definitely the biggest collaboration between the two giant orcs. Definitely want to see if BTR can once again raise back up, because currently sitting at 16 feels a little uncomfortable, but they definitely have many more rounds to go. End of it all, I mean, Smash Rule allows some of all these teams to really play catch up. Mace, though, he actually finds the Molotov to connect over to the members of CD Alliance, and now they go in for the flush.
Pushing through now here is Slumber. Feeling quite alive and kicking so far. Up the distance, separated by the wall itself. The Nate's gonna get cooked now. The shot towards the left, but another shot to the face. 966, able to get one here, winning that slow K. Even Brian, if he the mixture of the DBS. Let's get the pop, and that is going to be Celcom Digital Alliance now here, eliminated off this round.
The new kids on the block of Malaysia taking the old vanguards of Celcom Digital Lions. And that itself is just a little bit of taste of what the PMSL could actually bring. My word. That was not even any form of a challenge being formed by CV Alliance. Wilson is on the tally, and right now, Empire Esports move back into their old homes. But Picado is going to be a decent hole, but it seems like that circle, regardless of the situation, is still going to be somewhere around that high ground valley. And Faxcry, he gets a little something, and here comes the rest of Alpha. 2 members being knocked down. He's coming in for the rescue, going up against Todak. Now, neck to neck, he's just behind the wall.
Head to head so far. He's going to get cooked here by Sad of Dog. There should be a connection.
Oh!
Double. Oh my god. No, not going to be able to get the triple, though. Unfortunately, has to pay for his life. And so unfortunate, his teammate's not going to be around, but Ace throws on the Molotov. Should be a direct hit as well. Going to convert to a knock. Yes, it will be. Now it's going to be Frenzy all alone for Sad of Todak.
It's so crazy. They get the perfect read, and like I said, that Molotov does actually clip, and now E's 1v1 duel, and he gets it. He takes out the entirety of Todak by himself.
Ooh. The round persists here with RRQ trying to put themselves into the mix up against APG. RRQ into the clash. Oh, so unfortunate for a set of APG. They went through a lot. But now RRQ, they want to put themselves into the mixer as well. They want a third party out as well. And now it's going to be Reflex down to the ground. East once again looking to survive and try to play off this game. But RRQ Gypsy shuts them all through. APG simultaneously will get eliminated.
RRQ is so fast on that rotation to really look for all these openings. And on the weakest side of APG, it was just an easy connection, and they just got the short door shut upon their face. 7-9 now, full recovery with the med kit. 4 tries over the hillside. It seems like these two teams have always gone on the brawl, and there's nothing that separates these two from actually going forward in this duel. But 2 members of the side of 4 tries all the way down under over the foothill, and it's gonna be the U-High boy closing right in. Should be able to eventually go in for the takedown.
Thrives. You're just holding on to this corner side of this rock side. Sim9 has an overview, but Haikyuu is gonna get tagged up, but the players of 4 Thrives. This Mozo has to find the means to get this one done, but Backfry in the process though has found one player of the Xavier that is gonna be Lamborghini here getting tagged up as well. Fourth here for Traps holding on to a pretty strong heady, but it's only going to take at least a nade or 2 to probably push them back away from that scene. So for the zone's going to be closing in. Alter Ego Harris walks into the blaze of AC Slumber, and Agent Brian finds the first shot here off this wave. Badru able to get the bump to the face here up against 1. And that's going to be securing off the elimination as well. 1-for-1 trade they go.
A lot of back and forth. Oh, the nade! Brian! He depletes Badru. And now is absolutely possible, but Brian needs to hold by the stairwells. Great dodge coming from the member of Alter Ego. Then now he goes in for that straight on push. He's going in. He goes for the 1-tap. Now down to 1v1. He knows that there's just one right behind his back, but he won't secure first and foremost. And that was that mistake. He could have actually went on to Alba, but he goes down. But at least that's 7 points for AZ Slumber.
Just one away now. The ground persists here. Now it's going to be RQ. Ryu up against BTR by Vitality. So far, big fights coming into the play. The nade. Oh, watch the nade. Watch the nade. Coming by. Vexy now tagged up to half. Federalis. To heal up. You have the angle. Does he have the time? Another nade bites the dust. And that heal from the side of Federalis gets cancelled out. All separated by the smoke. Arky Noga Ryu now here going to be wrapping around once again from the back. Federalis sprays down and will be able to get converted to a knock.
Oh, beautiful stuff coming in from Federalis. Now can he actually go for a save? There's still hurling of nades being tossed out from side of the Pecco as he tries to hold it on the line, and another swing comes right by. Finally back up the rise, coming for the rest of BTR, but Alter Ego wants in. It's the three-way warfare between the civil rivalry of the Indonesians, and now swings him by, and Jen Fossey finds it.
Once again, you're trying to sustain all he can up against Alter Ego Eris. Badru's now going to be the only player alive, and that's going to be now Alter Ego Eris finding the means to wipe away the players of the opposition. That will be the Xavier now eliminated, but the round persists and it continues as they now got to go up against the players of BTR.
RRQ, they were onto something, and because of that swing by coming from Alter Ego, BTR is allowed that full room for a reset, and now back on their track to try to bring the pain towards the rest of Alter Ego energy. And they were looking at Blues, they were a little bit more hesitant to actually go on to take out the rest of the members of Alter Ego. Mela now all the way on foot, needing a little bit of a backup as it's going to be Gui that goes into save Ripple just in the nick of time. Oh, he was almost fully bleeding out. Alva, Badru will try to generate away safely away from harm, but BTR is about to give chase as well. Speaking of that, we move on to another Indonesian team. Talent Esports now spots out the backs of Vex Cry of Sem9. A little bit of interesting maneuver, considering that to be a little bit more ambitious. And just like that, Vex Cry, he goes in, snapping it back over the side of Talent, and immediately secures it.
Sem9 so far going to go on a spree. Once again, pulling things to one down. Now we take a look at the map here. Northern side control for the side of Sem9, Vampire Esports, Talent Esports, and Tribetter Massey for the side of the mid map. It's going to be preoccupied by the players of T2K, Boom Esports, Team Flash, and Team Secret themselves. Bit of a slight bit of rotation as well here. Has to be dealt with by the side of BTR. Vampire Esports here on the western side of the map. BKE as well here, holding on to the outskirts.
VP, they don't really have much options here for Mela. But Sem9, the reason why they're really tanking out the Blue Zone a whole lot is because they know that once they step outside, Mela is currently holding him over onto that corner. And he's definitely expecting Sem9 towards this direction. He's already heard those footsteps, and now he gets that perfect D-line charging up against him. Can he actually find the angles? And right now brings out the SOK. He goes in, a couple of tags, not quite connecting though. And now he's starved out of position, but he does not get out duel. And just like that, the clutch happens. Vampire Esports prevail, and now finds all 4 points.
Sem9 eliminated. Now it's going to be a fight here with Tribetter Massey against Team Secret. Jukai from the top. Tricks here holding things down just a little bit. They got to be cautious though. Going to be able to squad there on the other side of the spectrum. T2K, Tribetter Massey. Team Secret here about to go for a standoff. There's going to be a battle for timing here. They don't got to worry about rotating at all as the zone is just about to close out and they're going to be involved into it. Bit of a stalemate here, just a bit of silence. But as soon as that first strike comes along, it definitely get more bloody here, Tantra.
It's about to be now. Coordination coming from the side of Team Secret, looking absolutely beautiful. Gets the knock over Gante with a headshot. EST can afford to go in for the pickup as they're pretty much bunch up all together. GK, is this going to be the right moment for him to also close in the distance at the very same time? Keep in mind, though, the rest of BTR now takes cover of the hillside. And that could be a tough predicament for the rest of Team Secret as well. So it's kind of like a wise choice that they did not further commit other than landing that one knock. Because they do suspect that there's one other team over on the top side despite having any form of POV at the moment. Whereas the rest of BTR, now with the addition of Red Face to double down on that firepower as well as experience. Red Face right now leading the charge on those kill volumes that they have for the side of BTR. And they're bound to be face-to-face eventually. As the space is running out, 30 seconds, the Blue Zone is going to be completing its course. And the rest of Team Secret right now pushing forward. I think GK definitely has done a good job getting the first contact. And doesn't seem like it's a commitment just yet.
I think a pretty good spread here for the side of Team Secret. Again, they got to be cautious here. There's so much things that you might have to worry about. Pretty congested here on the eastern side of the map. BTR has a 3-lane, 4-lane formation as well. They do have an overview here up against Team Secret and Traver Master there from the back as well. And they're only going to be shifting here on the mid side, so there's not going to be too much things they got to worry about. Better Owls still back away. But on the other side of the let's look at the Vikings. They're pretty steady on where they are right now. They don't really have to worry about anything so far, and it's just all going to come down to the rest of the competition or to pick themselves part by part.
The only thing that they have to be concerned about is to really get a firm spot inside the zone, because currently they're situated by the outskirts. They were played by the high ground, and perhaps they might need to find Vampire Esports for that spot as well. Something that is bound to happen maybe in the next minute or so. With this confirmation, I mean, they're given only so little time for them to quickly shift forward. So the Blues is going to close in. Pressures on those members of Talon and T2K. T2K hoping to really hold off some of the players all the way up north. They got to deal with both Talon as well as VP at the same time.
What they got to do. But definitely. So far, no one's really checking out and no one's really committing to any angle whatsoever. You might just have to draw down to probably the last 2 minutes here inside of this initial circle itself. Holy Town's pretty still. Overview here for Set of Igneous. So much things in the reach of his hands, but I do believe that whoever starts off this clash might just be the most one that can get punished now. And Team Secret going to go for the rotation. Big heading for the side of Vexy. Able to tag the player. Team Secret apart, but Franklin from the back. Able to take down Delta from the side of Tribe Massey.
Vexy pressuring them with those grenades. And BTR still having that firm hold over on the high ground. And the rest of Team Secret, they're playing by the creases here. Plenty of defensive cover for both AST as well as Team Secret. But Great Plays is about to close right in, and that is going to be a good connection. And oh, the angles was good for the side of Frankie. Now he's looking for Ferraz. Gets a couple bullets before he gets stopped from above. And just like that, Crazy as well as Great Plays, they're going to put a lot of impact. And there's just plenty of casualties right now. Is AST going to be involved at the same time? Crazy now pressing forward, and now that puts a little bit more of a distraction as he looks to deplete 2K, and that one tap was beautiful. The entirety of BTR, they remained safe. Only one taken down within the skirmish.
Held her ground once again. Just like that. BTR but Vitality now, they now have to go against the players of Team Flasher in rotation, scrambling towards the direction. Cyber Massey still not going to be washed away, not just yet. Still trying to stay alive now, fully composed now. Federal is going to be out here inside of this round. In the process, once again, you've got to see it. Team Secret going to be eliminated. Same goes for the side of the Vikings. We're down to the top 7 squad remaining here on this round number 3 here, Contra.
The numbers fell like flies. And right now, with the push coming in from the side of Vampire Esports up the hillside, T2K tries to fend them off at the very same time. They did manage to cover perfect grounds in order to hold down the rest of Vampire Esports. And Vampire Esports, they're desperate for that space. They barely find anything at all. Now they need to lick their wounds. T2K is doing so much, and right now, they're the only 2 teams alongside with Podbit who's holding inside the zone.
Going to be flying there. Close to get the connection there, brings Vampire Esports. Vampire Esports, the board so far here in the overall ranking. Haven't been able to get a winner in second there, but definitely has been so freaking good in regards to putting their name up there on the pedestal. Always has been included on the number 2 spot. But in the process, though, Talon Esports goes for the fight up against Cyber Massey. Another player lives on, sprays on by Igneous. Shots one apart. This could be tricks down to the ground. Could be Rick as well on the other side. So far, T2K showing really great pals.
But it's only down to Igneous left. I mean, they were trying to deal with too much. And speaking of which, even Team Flash comes in from the other side of the hill to take him down. Team Flash right now on a streak. 7 points to their name. And this is once again a big showing coming in from Vietnam. Big strong by Vitality. Got in the mix of that fight. AST has been able to go in for the shutdown, getting themselves those 5 elimination points. In this top 5, anyone's game. A little harder for those individuals coming from Boom as well as Talon. They just gotta hold their ground until the timing is right. A chill He's holding onto the grenade. I don't know when exactly is he gonna pop it though.
Composition of squad here. 5 remains in total. Nicole, they're prone down to the ground. An overview of Vampire Esports on the other side. Once again, Team Flash and Vampire Esports has the best of all odds. Tribear Master the Dark Horses don't stay alive. They don't have Delta anymore. 3 players here to play with. Odds so bleak here for a set of Boom Esports and Talent Esports. Definitely going to be a bit of a toss-up now. 8 seconds left before the zone has to close out once again. We can definitely see the shift towards the next run. The battle of the mountainside here, Contra.
Oh, Drew was just by the very edge of it. He tosses another grenade, trying to flush the position of Empire Esports away. Red Bull undeterred. He knows that he's around the corner. But that also draws the attention of AST at the very same time because they know they didn't actually toss anything towards the side of VPE. And now Red Bull's looking for a closure. He's going over on the corner. He heard those footsteps. A chill. He's cooking up that grenade. 5 seconds. It's about to blow. And he's going to pull it away. Not enough time. Red Bull caught him with his pants on the ground.
Pushing through now. Talon's going to be eliminated. Team Flash. The best of all odds now. Look at the 2 squads here just fighting for their lives. Vampire Esports looking to close out the distance now here up against Tribear Massey. The nade connects there by Red Bull. LS6 on the bottom side. Crick's going to be watching this side as well. Vampire Esports on the aggressive tone. Tribear Massey looking to hold things down there. They got 1 player to hold on. That's going to be Sigante as well. They're looking to provide the backside pushes. Sprays on by now with an M4 here. Finds a few players tagged up. Meow out 6 now crawling on his 2 feet. And that's going to be Red Bull as well. Gooey's not going to be alone here for a set of Vampire Esports.
And they were all crumbling down. And Tribe Everybody was so patient holding it out. It's only down to Gooey left. And the nade's falling in.
It falls in. The battle continues. Team Flash win. Looking up the nade. It's 1 player on his cross here. And going to go for the fight. Not just yet. 1 player apiece for the set of Vampire Esports, and he's going to be eliminated. Gooey's out. Now it's 3v3, no 4v3. P1 situation. Team Flash definitely has the best of all odds here, Contra.
Oh, my word. Didn't expect my prediction to go so well for a moment, but they're still EST. Don't count them out just yet. I couldn't really spot out the final member of Boom Esports. They're still hiding around these corners. Perhaps he could be the tournament side of Team Flash once these 2 go on the brawl. Strix, Rick, as well as Gante now. Just by the corner dip, and these nades are falling right by. Almost getting over onto the corner of Gante. There's a couple of smokes for them to expend. Just to try to wiggle off some room. And with the vision denied, this might actually still have wind here to be able to spot them out if they actually proceed any further. And take a look at that final member remaining for the side of Boom Esports. He's falling right behind, and I think that he's about to pinch Win. As Win, he's getting himself pretty much occupied right now with another nade to be cooked up. And now AST, they're hardly having anything. That will go. The first contact will be in play, and now it's only down to Strix left.
Oh, here we go. Team Flash washes them away. And it's the only player left remaining for the set of Boom Esports. On bit, what can you do up against the full composition of Team Flash? The buggy is out. They know exactly where he is at. They know what's up, and it's going to be a close out now. Big old play for the side of Team Flash, and they're going to be our winners of this round.
Wow. What can we say about the stroke of brilliance that they've shown us over here? Being the kings of the hill by the tail end. Absolutely undeterred throughout their run here in Miramar. And that was one of the cleanest ones with all of their members still alive to till end of the round.
I gotta say, bro, it's the Battle of Vietnam for today's run, bro. 3 back-to-back runs for the Vietnamese squad. Team Flash able to double this one down, and the only squad missing from the Vietnamese crew is definitely going to be Team Secret.
And not forgetting DX as well. I mean, these 2 guys, they're falling down out of the radar, but it's all thanks to all the other teams also being so feisty as well. But Team Flash, from that last round, Hughes was the MVP. And this time, Hughes is going to be, once again, securing himself that MVP spot 2 rounds back-to-back with that 7-pointer finish.
Yeah, we talked about him, and he's definitely on top of the board in regards to just getting the eliminations off there. With 7 to his name, that's definitely going to be cranking up the whole statistics run here to going to be the road for the MVP run. What a play so far. I mean, we've seen the winner chicken dinner already go to the side of the Xavier. We've seen it for the Vikings, and now we're seeing it from the side of Team Flash, all coming from Vietnam.
It's just so incredible. Like, this kid so far is actually putting all the right moves, and so far having his twin brother to also back him up. Both this time, as much as he does not really secure all too much numbers out there, has been able to really be the backbone of the team to keep the engines running high on the side of Team Flash. Overall, I mean, the past couple rounds, Team Flash has been incredible. Even the last round, they did make it in the top 4. They still going for those high frag volumes, and they're sticking to the same modus operandi. Same goes to say, for the very least, for Vampire Esports, they were not part of the top 4, falling pretty closely to the top 4. But it was that push towards EST that resulted in them getting demolished.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that being said, here, Team Flash, Vampire Esports, Private Massey in 7-9. Has been pretty frustrating here on this match number 3 here. Able to get it done. G to the G's. Well played. There you go. And it was a pretty slow start here on this initial round, but at the end, bro, everything just became much more hectic, and that's what we like to see. We have a comparison here between the Vietnamese squad and the Indonesian squad of Boom Esports. Team Flash gonna have 2 eliminations for their name. Not really comparison overall, with Boom Esports actually only having 0 eliminations inside of that round. So I don't exactly know what's up here, but for sure, those are their stat lines.
Oh, it's pretty interesting that, Boom Esports is the round where they didn't secure a single drop of elimination points, but hey, placement points is absolutely worthwhile, so they did manage to achieve something in return. Zeus, what more do we talk about this kid, man? Like, he's always up there, really churning out those numbers, and now giving everybody a run for the money where he could possibly turn up to be the FMVP of the entirety of the tournament if they can just continue on with the streak. 987 damage, like we mentioned earlier on with the 7 elimination points. Seeing him just take off is just definitely a sight to behold.
So take a look at the top performers of the round. We got actually 7 once again for the side of Zeus. We know that for a fact. Backfire with 6 actually alongside Milan, 6 from the side of Vampire Esports, and obviously 1 player from the side of AZ Slumber that is going to be Asian Brian with 4 eliminations to his name, and they definitely started off on the brighter side of the round, but unfortunately sustainability wasn't really all around there for the side of AZ Slumber. Vampire Esports, I mean, ever so consistent, man. I mean, they're always part of the top 5 crews run this one down, and they're still going to be there up on the board. So 14 points are named, 22 on total for the side of Team Flash. We have Triber Massey here with 12, 8 for the side of 7-9, AZ Slumber with 7, 6 for 6 for the side of Boom Esports, and Vegatron by Fatality, 5 for 5 for the side of Alpha Gaming and Alter Ego Eras. That's going to be 4 for the side of Talent Esports, 3 for the side of RQ Rio, 2 for 2 for the side of T2K Esports, MGN, Vikings Esports, Team Secret, and 1 for 1 for the side of Horse Rise and Todek, where D Xavier and Telecom Digital Lions pretty still on this initial start.
Yeah, it's still a little bit more a slow start for some of these guys out there, but hopefully they will be able to pick up the pace, or else they'll be left so far behind. It's been 3 rounds already on this first day, and we see major improvement coming from the likes of Manny. And not only did Zeus actually get most of the elimination points, he's also the guy that frags out even from that long distance that we talked about in the initial point of contact they had in the early span of the match, with 379 points of distance being covered from here. And just look at the stats, I feel like these are stock standard 3 airdrops looted, but I didn't really see anyone whipping out like things like a Grozar, P90. Then again, we're in Miramar, man. Like, usually they just stick with whatever they're comfortable with.
That's going to be the third chicken dinner granted for this one. Xavier started off with on a high note with 21 points for the name, 19 now for the set of Vikings on the second round. Third goes for the set of Team Flash. And what does this call? Once again, I like to say this, it's the battle for Vietnam's run here. 3 out of 4 teams from Vietnam already making it happen for the squad, and just 1 rogue team of Thailand is actually going to be there. That is going to be Vampire Esports. But Team Flash and Vaporator is going to be tied up in 42 points in total, 25 and 25 as well for the set of MVKE and the Xavier, alongside Boom Esports and Sam9 actually as well. Wow.
It's so close. I mean, everyone's pretty much tied up, even for that #1 spot. Take a look at Vampire Esports stats. So interesting that all 3 rounds played out, it's pretty much the same score line of 14 points for each respective members. And moving into the other side of the equation, yeah, they're lagging behind. I really wish that they would actually step up a little bit more. But then again, when you have so many teams in the lobby, you have more teams not really securing placement points, which is why it is kind of tough if you could not really find that space into that zone, so to speak. So more work to be done, but hey, we'll find out a whole lot more when we finally move back to Erangel.
Yeah, definitely, man. So with that being said,
Step into the ring. Let's go. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring. Step into the ring.
Lights out. I got a feeling, but I can't shout. I got reasons, but I'm out. No rest for the weekend. Give me what I want. Never get enough. Never giving up. Give me what I want. Turn on. Get ready for it. Stay strong. I'm here for it. Don't stop. No rest for the weekend. Turn it up again, I lose control. Give me everything, it's what I want. Best I've ever been, I see the glow. Feel it deep.
and that is it. Welcome back once again now to the continuation of the first day of the grand finals. It is us here going straight towards round number 4, and we're going back to Erangel. My name is Warden, and we are, my name is Contra. No, my name is Warden, and we have Contra as well. And you know, let's just get it on, bro. I'm lost for words. I've been losing myself. These games have been pretty close, and I gotta say, man, I've grown such a big heart for the Vietnamese crew already, man. Back to back to back, Vietnam all the way through.
And we just need to love them, man. Like, the way that they are performing is just absolutely otherworldly, right? The way that they've been able to really back those wins and different styles of their own. Of course, different names altogether coming from VX and VKE as well as Team Flash. The only ones right now that hasn't really shown us some convincing moves is Team Secret, but hey, they actually play pretty well inside of Wrangle. So maybe could this be a chicken dinner for each respective teams, or maybe it's a change coming along because
Team
early
Secret.
on it could be anyone out there. So you're going for Team Secret already?
Yep, Team Secret all the way, bro. I want to see the full squad of. I want to see the full squad of Vietnam here. Bag this one through, bro. I'm still staying towards Team Secret.
Okay, if that's going to be the case, I'm going to change things up. I feel like they will eventually pass the torch, right? So I'm going for APG this time, where they've been managing to take up a decent fight. Just in Miramar, it's always been multiple teams that gang up upon them. So maybe with the amount of space that's being provided, APG could actually take one for themselves.
Well, we'll see about it. An APG, I've been a pretty big fan for them actually. You know, when I remember casting my first initial days with APG back in their old organization, Formerical Vibes, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so yeah, hey, I'm happy to see them. Let's see if they're gonna be able to actually get this one on. After all, they got some pretty top dogs in their squad there, and elimination is surely not a problem for them, especially in the map of Wrangle.
Yeah, and overall, you know, like I guess like I voted for Vampire Esports initially, and then I just think that, yeah, it's been 3 games in a row now. I think that these guys are definitely top fragging, so to speak. But then again, they couldn't really land the finishing touch. I just want to add a little bit more points to my tally just to be a little bit more sure about how things go. But hey, at least Team Flash kind of learned me that 4 points. So yay, finally in the lead for the first time on the predictions.
Yeah, you got 4 to your name, man. I don't know what you've been eating. I don't know what you've been dosing up into, but what if for sure you've been getting all your arcs pretty spot on. Much more so over. It could have been 5th as well, but Vampire Esports actually coming in 2nd off the vote that you actually had on the 2nd round. But hey, let's get it on. 7 seconds separates us from the 4th round and stopped on the 1st day of the grand finals. It is going to be going back to the El Clasico map of Wrangle.
Here we go. And once again, we're being treated with another teaser coming in from the island side. So last time round, when we kickstart our first match here in the grand finals, went all the way down the island, and Vampire Esports seemingly had the tendency to either choose Primos or even the island itself. So now they're spoiled for choice. If they don't really want to take the islands, sure, they can just work all the way across towards the far western end. Talent Esports, as per usual, moving into Nova, then they will be joined alongside with APG inside of the Miller base. So, the big question now remains is that, you know, some of these guys, they've been having some of all these areas that they're battling for inside of the playoffs. T2K, they're happy that, you know, they get to take that claim inside 70 since that ASI8, they're no longer there to disrupt them so far. So that I want to see a little bit more coming in from inside the T2K as well. That's definitely one big prediction coming in from our dear producers moving into this match.
Definitely. And, you know, we're looking at it, it is definitely going to be a pretty safe flight pass overall. Now we take a look at the strike. And look at the... What is that robotic thing going on there? But for sure, it is going to be that fights coming through here for set of 4 Thrives. And the first blood will be ensued by the players of 7-9. IQ on the roll.
Wow. Big opener coming in from the side of U-High. And funny enough, I mean, that flight path goes towards the left side and the circle is going on the right. A small chance that it still ends up in Novo, but highly unlikely. It's still a tough call, though. It's very interesting that this could potentially go up into the lumber hills of Milta or Milta itself. So we'll have to see how this one pans out for the side of 7-9. They're going for a chase. And see enough, coming to a close, but couldn't really find the mark just yet.
It's definitely been horrific here for these squads. Top definition here. Our trap's going to be taking a bit slow, and quite unfortunately, you do lose Falak early on. Look at this man here, just holding his trigger down. Oh, Mazel doesn't actually know he's going to be there. But Force Drives only has a double barrel shotgun to be played as well, so he can't afford to miss a shot, so he is definitely hesitating.
Yeah, when you don't really have the numbers to actually churn, you just got to find some pickoffs in order to turn the tides around. And it's really down to this member who's only got a 2 bullet pump on his hands for now. not even grenades, so to speak. So it's going to be Farron now, career aggressing, and over on the side, it seems like T24 does get the drop over onto Dia. And he's only got the revolver. He's hiding inside the smoke. And this battle by the corner's hospital is the first time that we're getting between Alter Ego and Tribe Armacy.
A bit of a stalemate here on the hospital side. And there's going to be a shot there as well. For set of 4 Thrives. Finds one player there. Bottom out of the screen. But a trade will be given as well. But it's out of 7-9. It's a back and forth battle there for 4 Thrives. But 7-9 looking to have the better lap at it. It's only going to be 2 players remaining here for set of 4 Thrives. Not able to get the initial shot. Also, Hour, no connection whatsoever. If only he decides to swing towards the right side, pops one to the floor, not able to get the connection. Might just be able to get another knock now, but T24 OP just missing his shots.
Yeah, he knows that there's now 2 players over in the corner, and they asked to play it really smart. Where exactly is Naki? Naki is just trying to help him out from the back end. Amazon now being retrieved, but I don't think that they found any first aid kits just yet. From the health bars, and here comes the swing, going back to the hospital. It's Krypton punish. It's always Gante, but he gets dropped instead. Thank goodness Trinks was there to back him up, and now they're going charging for a whole lot more. Delta with the micro Uzi gets blinded with the smokes right in front of his face, and down the stretch, he's got this double cross being set right over the corner. Badru allowed to actually surf right in, and now Alba, Badru, they got Delta absolutely boxed out.
Big ol' spray! A lava! Pops one down. Trevor Massey Delta down to the ground. Alter Guerreras. Pushing through here. It's a pretty heavy fight here inside of the hallway. And Rosemary able to get another pop to the face. And from the back, a lava finds Strix down. Trevor Massey now here only having 1 player to rely on inside of this round. As Alter Ego Eris washes him away.
That was such a decisive strike coming from the side of Alter Ego. I'm just so surprised. Even with the crossfire, they could not really find it all. And it was that collateral for Rosemary. That was a stuff of beauty. Now we go back into fair purity. And the end of course, rake final member out. So that really secures it. All 4 points for the side of Alter Ego. And now they finally secure a knock. And now the rest of Sem9 moving up the stairwells. T24, he's got the QBZ in hand though. Can he puncture through?
Pushing through here. To get another. Oh, the bow and arrow actually connects with one, but T24 OP. And an AR, able to get a spray. Looking to get another now. Shotgun in the hands. Able to secure Satria down. Looking to get another, but through the window. Enough to eliminate the rest of the composition of 4 Thrives. Pakistan is out.
Oh. Heartbreaking, but that was great effort. And take a look who's here. AZ Slumber is here to rain on the parade of Sem9. A far lob, not connecting towards Sem9 just yet. And that second one definitely does the trick. Brian, Agent Brian. Now by the corner. Great spot on attack, and this is where it goes down. 1v1 challenge. And he thinks that, oh, maybe it's only 1 guy around. So he's still going to be on the lookout. But little does he know, Yuhai is still around that vicinity.
Definitely is. Ooh. Agent Brian here going to try to wrap as well, but from the top there, it's still going to be Sem9. He's down, and Sem9 dealt with 4 times earlier, but now they're going to feel the players of AZ Lumber. Kuta. We'll see it up now. Floor control here for set of Sem9. The pump to the face will be enough as well as Vex tramples to his feet out on the ground, and that is going to be 7.